Welcome to Pembroke Hall Memories podcast. I am Lance, or Jelly, or Prince, as most Pembroke Hall people know me. And my co-host is Philip, or Any, or NFL, as most Pembroke Hall people know him. And both of us are from Calbeck Avenue. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore how Pembroke Hall, a small community in the Kingston 20 area, surrounded by Joesland, just across Washington Boulevard, Marvalley, Trucks Garden, or Francis Land as I know it, Arlene Garden, Patrick City, just across the Sandy Gully, became the epicenter of football or soccer for some people in Jamaica in the early 1970s. Pembroke Hall was also home of some of the most legendary musicians and entertainers of that era. I was still going to Pembroke Hall Primary when every single Sunday a triple header was played at the original ball ground at the intersection of Calbeck Avenue, Pembroke Hall Drive, now Kennel Drive. One morning match and two evening match was played to a capacity crowd. These teams, Patosi Rovers, Carawina, Asphalt, Covey, El Furto, and Dreads, was joined by Marvalley Uenden to play in the Pembroke Hall Corner League football tournament. And every baller in Jamaica at the time wanted to play in a Pembroke Hall Corner League to showcase them skills as the first officially organized Corner League football tournament in Jamaica. In this conversation, we hope to capture the memories of players, supporters, and any members of the Pembroke Hall community, male or female, who want to come and share their stories. Your feedback and support will be greatly appreciated on whatever social media platform you might be listening, and thanks in advance. Go!
Yeah.
Today is Thursday, November 17, 2022, and welcome back to another conversation about Pembroke Hall memories. Me, as usual, Jelly, our Prince, our Lance, as most Pembroke Hall people know me. My co-host today is my lifelong friend from Calbeck Avenue, Philip, or Any, or Anyfowl. Today's guests, I will be giving proper introduction because they both were foundation members of the El Furto Youth Club, one of the clubs which was very active in the Pembroke Hall Corner League. One of today's guests moved to Pembroke Hall in 1964, which happened to be the same year I moved to Pembroke Hall. Lived at 22 Covey Avenue and attended Central Branch All Age, Calabar, and
20 years.
And him tell me say him play football, cricket, and netball for El Furto when the girls needed a hand during them practice session. Two things stand out about that statement there. I never know El Furto had a netball team, and Mikey have to explain to me how we play on the netball team must have been very friendly with the girl. But he must talk about that. When he started the story, our next guest moved to Pembroke Hall in 1965 and lived at 39 Covey Avenue, which I do remember. He attended Melrose All Age, Calabar, and played both Sunlight and Manning Cup for the Green and Black Lions from Breddles Road, as him call them. This guest's younger brother and I attended Pembroke Hall Primary from 1969 to 1974, and I must acknowledge his younger brother, my friend and his younger brother, Lascelle Gary, as he's known to most Pembroke Hall people, because Gary was the greatest intellectual giant me ever see at a young age, a primary school, when we got Pembroke Hall together. And when we meet up back with him in Orlando in 2001, after 30 years I see him since 1974, the man was still a relaxed and a humble man, despite his intellectual acumen. So I have to big him up. I'm there to tell him story about his brother there, and we must start about him a little. So before I go further, I have to acknowledge a Pembroke Hall legend, Lascelle Adams, who no longer with us because I'm a good friend. Avil there, I'm going to talk about him to Avil Palmer. So.
You can ask it.
But without further ado, I'm welcome to original member of the El Furto Youth Club, Mikey Wynter, and Lascelle's Plummie Adams. Introduce yourself first, Mikey, and then you go Plummie. And then you introduce yourself back, Phil.
Well, Mikey Wynter here, man. 28 Covey Avenue, can't miss that. El Furto from birth. I mean...
Where you moved from Pembroke Hall? Let's see the record.
I moved to Pembroke Hall in February 1964.
How old you were at the time, Mikey?
Do the match, man. What about right? You turn 9, somewhere there, so.
I don't know you're born. I want to pay him.
19.
Introduce yourself here, Plummie. Come on, man.
No,
So
you turn 9, definitely.
Yeah, man, no, man. But that's one record, man. Say about 10 years older than me, so that's fine.
mm,
Yeah, but
Absolutely. They're not you, man, like Gary, man.
yeah, right, exactly, exactly,
mm.
exactly. Go
As a
ahead,
matter of
Plummie.
fact, when I
Yeah, go ahead, make Plummie introduce himself first, Mike, and then we'll come back. Go ahead, Plummie.
Oh, this is Lascelle Adams. Everybody know me as Plummie. Actually, I even born come inherit that name, the Plummie. So, even it's not really a nickname per se. It's just a family pet name that I acquired and have had it ever since. So, now get where 39 Cove Avenue. I actually attended Melrose Primary School because when we were going to primary school, there was no Pembroke Hall Primary
Yeah,
School.
that when both of them tell me that, so I go Central Branch and Melrose, I realize say you're much older than me because we never go Pembroke Hall Primary.
Mhm.
So no primary school. I think a 67 or 68 the primary school bill or 69 here on the start. I don't know. But
Right.
yeah.
So the Pembroke Hall Primary come
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, welcome, Plummie, welcome, Mikey. And refill, reintroduce yourself, my brother.
Yeah, man, this is none other than Phil Any, aka Philip or Any Fowl. As Lance said, we're long-time, lifelong friends. Foundation from Pembroke Hall, Calbeck Avenue, to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another conversation of Pembroke Hall memories. And I'm looking forward to hear these two gentlemen's story tonight.
Yeah, man. Yes. All right, so gentlemen, so Mikey, most of the questions I'm gonna start with you because
boss
Yeah,
there now.
because not
yeah.
just because, no reason, just because.
Yeah, Alberta for life.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Nothing can change that.
All right.
That's
Remember,
all
you
right.
know,
That's what I want
we
to hear.
So all
we're the
right.
first club. We're the first club in a Pembroke Hall.
We'll get to that. Before we get to that,
All right.
you come up Pembroke Hall, it's in 1964. As
That's
a
correct.
9-year-old, and then which part you move from? What community you come
Franklin
from?
Town.
Okay, and you're old enough to remember. What does it feel like to move from Franklin to come up Pembroke Hall at the time?
A country, man. It was country as far as we're concerned. Because let's face
Pembroke
it.
Hall was country.
Yes, Pembroke Hall was country. Because when we came to Pembroke Hall, no, we never even have street.
What do you mean?
The
A
street
mall
never
on the
be
road?
mall upon the road, right?
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one of the things I remember quite blatantly was when we built our driveway. Our driveway comes straight out of the house and straight for the street.
Mm.
Only for realize that the man them now build the road up that high. So I have to dig it down and come again. You understand me?
Yeah.
But then that was 28 Cove Avenue. You can't miss that.
So
And
when you say
everybody
country, a pure bush there, Pembroke Hall, the house never fully built out yet when you come there.
No. We have a whole heap of structure started and nobody not finished yet more than so. You know. I mean, Mark, no bus no run nowhere near this because we go to school, you have to make sure some boy you go all the way up to Harling Gardens. Them time them boy we have a pass used to come a Central Branch.
Yeah.
You understand me?
So for the record, Mike, you have any brother or sister who come up Pembroke Hall or born at Pembroke Hall afterwards?
No, me never. No, my sister came to. It was me and my sister and my father because I'm only did drop out the year before.
Okay. And your sister
You understand
younger
me?
than you.
Older, so that 2 years older than me.
So call her name now. What? She not live at Pembroke Hall too?
No, she was Pembroke Hall for a short time before them. She and my father pick up and go foreign. You understand me?
I got you.
And then them time the boy man to come stay with me, boy, and she run things.
Oh, I got
But
you.
then, I said things to run at the time, she just control and take care of things. And
Yeah. So
that is when me and last turn brethren and we decide to boy, them boy I play football, I play football too.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So,
You understand me?
Plummie, which one you prefer me call you? Lascelle or Plummie? And me call you, which one?
Lass.
All right, lads.
That's fine. Anyway, go ahead. We just short the formality of the name because, like you said, Lance and Lancelot, that kind of stuff. That's good.
Man. So last you moved from a Pembroke Hall in 1965 now. Which part you move from?
Actually, when we moved, we were living in what, Franklin Town,
Or
actually,
just like Mikey.
to a certain extent, right? And then we moved to Pembroke Hall. And like Mikey said, one of the things that I remember about Pembroke Hall in those days is the fact that when rain fall, people had to park them car out by asphalt because you couldn't drive on the road come down.
What do you mean the
All
asphalt?
right.
Which part the asphalt? The same
So
asphalt?
asphalt, what we call it, where them build up the shopping plaza
Oh,
and all
really?
that
Well,
kind
asphalt,
of.
man, I used to play with my car. Yeah, really? Yeah.
Right. Build
Jelly,
up.
that I tell us the plaza that they from foundation.
So a lot of people, if you live on like Covey, like I said, when we moved, we never really have a paved street. It was a mall road. So once rainfall, nobody want to drive them car down on the mall because you get stuck. So everybody park up on the top, and then you walk down the road. And it was kind of funny because Mikey and I, we had gone through to see if we could remember the people that live on the road when we came there. And we basically, we could have mostly identified most of the people that were there when we actually moved in, right?
Well, before you talk about them, because when you talk about the people who live on the road, you come up from a girl and how much brother? I mean, you have one brother when I talk about, how much
I have one brother and two sisters, right? So Gary would be the second, and then my sisters followed, right?
Yeah.
And actually, both of my sisters actually went to Miss McLaren school after Gary, too. So the old lady basically decided that she was doing a good job, so she just sent all the pick to them go to school.
McLaren up at Clydesdale, Miss Max.
Clydesdale,
Yeah,
Miss
that's the
Max.
basic school I went to. Yes,
The basic school, right?
Yes.
So that is kind of how that kind of work
What
out
your
for
sister
us,
them name again? I remember one name Lorraine and where the other one?
right? Laurel,
Laurel, okay, yes. I remember.
right?
Yes.
And
You see
they're
the trend, Jelly.
Eh?
yeah, man.
You see the trend.
The trend is that
Everybody are L.
LA, because the old
Yeah,
man,
man.
the old man is Leroy, so him is Leroy, so him name all the pick to them LA, Leroy.
I never realized
You
that
see the
stuff, but yeah.
you see the creative process.
hmm
So the four now. So any sister them born a Pembroke last?
Essentially the youngest one, Laurel, she was born not in Pembroke, but basically when we were living in
Yeah,
Pembroke.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what I mean, right. While we living in Pembroke, yes.
hmm
So she's an anchor baby then, we can't put it that way there.
Well, as I say, wash belly.
Yeah, man. So, on the top, well, you're Mikey, whichever one I want to start with the people want to know upon Covey Avenue, because one of the man name Phil keep asking about was Rose them, Paul Rose, and he have a bigger brother. I don't know if you remember.
Junior, Paul and Junior. And there was even a bigger brother than that.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Rose had a Bobby. Bobby was the biggest brother.
And have
right.
a sister too. How much sister do you
Yes. It's what?
Three.
Patsy. It's four, Mikey. It's Patsy, Mar.
Mal.
Mar.
What's your name? Little one there.
Right, and then the last one. And then the last one.
Oh, the little dark skin one. Yeah, the fourth one. Yeah.
Right. It's like seven.
So which one used to play ball on the El Forto Club? The two older brother them. I know Paul used to play, because me and Paul about the same age.
Yes, Paul played. Junior never played.
Never played. Norman in there. Norman was
Norman played.
I remember. Right. I don't name Norman. Him older than Paul.
That's correct.
Paul had the second to last one because my sister followed him.
Yeah.
That was what I remember.
Yeah, man. So call out some other name them on, Me can call some name when me didn't know. But
okay, take for example the Shim. I hear any talk about the Shims. So talk about Christopher, right? And so we had Mike. You want to go up on your side? You want to start? I'll come up.
Okay. Now we start from the bottom of the road part. You used to have Thunder and them guys that live right at the corner.
That was the walls.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I never know that.
Yeah, man. Thunder them live right at the house across from the Fosters.
Miss Foster, right.
Them, right. Miss Foster.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, and Mikey continue, and then I guess.
They have two houses. I never know who did live there. So. And the people have never was not social.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
And then you find the teacher. What the teacher the name was? Plumbing.
Miss Thompson.
Mrs. Thompson, right.
At primary school as a vice
Right.
Yes.
Miss Thompson,
Right.
that was beside Miss Thompson. That was a rented house. And then I think you come to Mr. Little Cool Man, what name?
I don't remember him name at all, no, Mikey. That is the funny thing. I try to remember him name.
So
I'm
which
just
part
scared.
far from this Chris Maxwell live?
No, Chris
Then
lived
next,
the-
no,
next
that's
door.
that's next door to Chris.
next door to Chris. And then after Chris, they had the Davis.
Davis.
The Davises, right? And then you had Diego.
No. The Davis, then
The
Diego,
Morris.
yeah, you're damn right.
You have Diego, right?
Diego, then you have the Morris, then the Comries, then the Rose, then Winter, then Reed, then
And the
Vernon.
Frankie and the brother them.
Yeah.
Right, Frankie and the brother them.
Phil,
Six
you remember
boys.
Frankie?
No, Frankie.
You man used to drive the bus to me.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
Remember him
And
brother
and Miss Pringle used to work up at a supermarket as a cashier.
Yeah, good. So you have it, right? And
Moving
then
right up. What number were there?
with that Mr. Wilson house. And
Mr.
then
Wilson, then you have Mr.
the
Folks,
the
Folks, right? Folks, then
the Murray,
June them, then the Morris, then
the Williams, Mr. Williams.
No,
Yeah,
man.
It was the
No,
folks
man,
that-
cutie father. Cutie and thing there, cutie. What name? What's your cutie the name?
Mr. Williams placed that. That was Mr. Williams. And he had two daughters and a son. Errol was on the son, and then Cutie and the next younger one.
Okay.
And
And then
then
move from there to some people we never know.
we never know. And then
beside
that,
Soddy.
search well before
Search
Soddy.
well.
Or Richard
Before
Church
study.
used to live up there to Plummie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you remember him? Yes. I think this
Okay.
is the KC after a while.
And then the
Nurse, Tommy Wells, I think her name was. Then you had
and then
the Mears. Then
Who?
the Walkers, the Mears.
then the Walkers, right? And then you have
the Wards.
Jackie man, Jack the Ward, them, then Patrick Wong,
Mhm.
then
Peaches. Was it Peaches?
Peaches.
Right.
And then the next lady, they were never talking about them more than so because she all have a high fence.
You couldn't-
Wanna laugh about that's how it go.
No, I know some of them yeah, they couldn't get the ball, you play ball on the road ball, you know, on the ball
You're
over there
mad.
at all. No.
You're mad. And if you
So-
swing back across the road now, I'll come back down the road. You have Gilfillian.
Oh, me go ask
Philly
about
Hans.
that. Birth to them. How much brother
Right.
and sister
Yes.
them? I never know a birthday of brother in them. I didn't have a sister.
As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I yesterday birthday brother come check me, you know.
Oh, really? Him brother
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
play
man.
football.
Gilfillian, of course, he was a play for asphalt.
Me don't have no memory of birthday brother at all, you know. What position you used to play?
Gilfillian, right wing, I think.
Me never know that at all. So how much brother them did have? Just for the
You
record.
had two, you had one, two, you had
Two boys and one girl.
two boys and two girls.
Okay.
You better know
Two
one of
boys,
the
two girls.
girl. Kamala was the younger sister.
Kamla was the younger one and Anne-Marie was the older one.
Yeah, me didn't know.
Right.
Because them used to come Central Branch with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I didn't know it's a birthday that day though.
Right.
Yeah.
We hear
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Very recently.
Yeah, recently
Very
we didn't
recently.
since we started the program, we did get a message from Patos that Mrs. birthday had died. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming back down on the road, I know, so that woman ever live next door to Miss Mark shop. What's her name?
That was Miss Anglin, I think her name was, and then the
Uh-huh.
sheiks them came and lived there afterwards.
Oh, no, shop on
Okay.
Full Road, Plummie, COVID.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
a shop
man.
up there. Yeah, man, a shop up there.
Miss Mark shop, across
Mark shop.
from Patrick.
From Patrick.
Oh, me
Right.
don't know that,
And then you come to 57.
Mrs. Williams.
57 was Mrs. Williams. 55.
That was Wheeler. Miss
That
We-
shop,
we-
that shop was on the left hand side going up.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the shop, Phil?
Yeah, man. I think it's like a brown lady, a stout brown lady.
No, Miss
My
Mark
name
is
is-
skinny.
Miss Mark is skinny. But anyway.
Skinny?
But yeah, I'm think to know where you talks but it was Miss Mark was a skinny lady still. But going down, you had the
But we know
Wheeler.
a shop up on the
That
left hand
Wheeler.
side.
Right.
Yeah, Wheeler.
Hold on the last. What Wheeler right name?
That's his name, Wheeler. His name.
Yeah.
Wheeler never used to go play for Carwina one at a time, though.
No.
No, Wheeler. Wheeler was captain at the cricket team down at Kingston Tech.
Kingston Tech, right.
Right.
Yes, yeah. Okay. I remember Wheeler.
And then you had
coming south, but
Sister Vin, which was related.
No, Sister Vin which was related to Patrick them.
Right. Then Mr. Walker, which was Gerald them was uncle.
Uncle was a cop, I think.
Right, he was a policeman, and then beside him was the Rose. Then you had Bangkok.
Webster, Mr. Webster.
Mr. Webster.
And then you had
Edwards.
No. You had this part Donna them used to live.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who the owner house there?
I don't know.
I think I Nemad them the name, Nemad.
Okay.
And then you moved down to the
Edwards,
then
right. The Cadogans,
then the Adams, then
Walters,
right, and then
the Donaldsons,
then the Duns, then the Sutherland.
Mr. Dunn, I remember Mr. Dunn, as they call him name. Yes, I read
right.
Yeah.
Sutherland, then you have
the
Harris, then you have I don't know Mad Paul.
Yeah, man.
And
him younger.
Then Mad Paul.
Yeah.
What was Paul's last name?
Miss Max on them.
Miss Max on them. So what was Paul and last name?
Paul and Peter. I remember him last name.
Paul and Peter.
No, brother, but no. You know why I them stick out when one night Paul take the father, Cressida, where him drive. Because remember, them father was a chauffeur for
Matalan people, right.
And the man, people, the father can remember same crazy, and you remember Dave and the mother drive bus to live in front of Kane Current.
Yeah.
Them are come down from Wells Road and see him and give them. I'm going to drive from
right.
They must be mad.
Yeah, and flash it right in Chinese people them out in an upper in-view terrace, in an in-view glass. Valentine, the man a fly, come down and Dave said to him, say, yo, Paul, you not stop the kind of say the intersection. And he just turn and smile to Dave.
Hold on the last Mikey. Let me ask you something, Paul and Peter, though. Paul and Peter did insane from long time have mental problems. They put it right.
Yes. It was growing.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
What this is
developmental thing.
Remember, the mother wasn't too there.
Right. No, the mother wasn't too there. I remember that. I remember that. And the father wasn't around.
No, the father was around. The father was a very quiet guy.
Okay, I got you.
Because the father used to drive one of them delegate or somebody big time.
Yeah, man,
Right.
I never even know that at all. Because I'm a little younger than
man, I like blue.
Paul would have been a little younger than last.
Yeah, man.
Much younger than them.
Much younger than we, man. Paul was probably about 1 year, or probably a year.
Little older than me, yeah. Peter probably about my age, or a little younger, yeah.
And after Paul, then the Christians. And then what?
Then Alti what, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we get in trouble.
We just couldn't remember all
18. We used to have a brother named, I mean, the brother is tight, but Dell, the girl named Dell. Body like you wouldn't believe it. And south of that was whispered, Thing to No Live. And then Titus. You remember Titus? Michael, what Titus is the name? Titus, then the house with the stop. Titus did that the stoplight. The house with the light, with the put light post, right?
The light post,
right. And then the house below that was some clear skinned people like this who lived there. So, and then
the mother old white lady that used to live beside the Fosters.
Right. No, they want to 7 which part them the Neville and brother them live
Right. So never
But that's 7.
It's
And
never
then
that.
next door to that, never, about 3 brother them, man.
Him never used to play ball.
Yeah, man, never did keep goal one at a time. No, not successfully, but
Yeah. That's why I asked because the name does sound familiar. So I said never, the name sound familiar.
yeah, man, never used to keep goal one time, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
him
I just, yes. He used to keep for Covey.
Covey, I think,
Yeah, man. I know
right.
your talk, man. I know your talk. I just said never, I know your talk.
And then next to that, yeah, just have some cool girl used to live right like I was saying, a pretty no blouse and skirt.
You remember
Oh,
I got it.
Mikey, that's why you play for the netball team. That's him not stop.
Yeah, man.
no, the whole of us man play for the netball team, okay, guess what? The girl them didn't need competition.
Yeah, man. Well, coming at that, man. I'm going to ask you about that, man. But when I
Coming south, brother. One more house to shut down, like a white lady live, and then the Fosters.
So
that's cool, Avenue.
Let me ask you to answer something. And for the record, last, how old you were when you moved from Pembroke? What age you were?
I try to remember now. I think I was probably about 8 or 9, just
okay,
about.
8 or 9. So you're familiar then with Pembroke, and they say they have the same problem like when Mikey have on to build sidewalk and have to lick it down.
No, not yet. We never actually put in our driveway until we finish the road still. I think my old man did probably learn from Mikey father.
I feel I'm a trendsetter.
Yeah. So what's your impression last week come up Pembroke? What was your impression of Pembroke? Can you move from the community completely?
Actually, listen, you get used to it. It was the place that we was going to live and all that kind of stuff. So, essentially, you just kind of get into the place. And one of the things I've heard you guys talk about on previous episode is the fact that, for example, you'd have mentioned different things and we'd have talked about things. But like I said, just like how people used to park them car up and all that kind of stuff. When the rain fall, we'd be out in the road, and every man would have a piece of stick, and we'd be racing to see which are the fastest and all that kind of stuff going down before it hit the drain.
Yeah, before it hit the drain, bottom of the road,
right.
But
essentially, right. But I mean, otherwise, we establish friendships establish over time. All right, because like for example, the Cadigans and my family became very close because we lived beside each other. And the Mad Boy Picnic, and although Junior and Mikey were the two youngest, right? Everybody was kind of older than they were, but we still had a good relationship. And the Edwards, so you kind of start building up relationship with people, and so we'd have probably either see each other when we take the 13 bus. So Melrose is down off Lindus Road, if you remember, down that way there. All right. And so if Mikey had come from Central Branch, and probably take the 13 bus, right? And we'll come up because we never used to take number 4 or 40 bus to come from Pembroke 13 bus, and you go up at Arlene Gardens and you walk down. Right, and walk down because that was the easiest way to get to and all that kind of stuff. So, that is kind of how remember Pembroke. But there's one thing I wanted to kind of remind you. I remember one episode you were talking about people saying that the houses in Pembroke were Rima houses. You remember that?
Yeah. But that's some old lady describe it to me. It's a Rima house.
Right. It's a Rima
building.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That is right.
So, but Rima is a construction system, and essentially that was basically Pembroke was some of the first prefabricated houses that them actually built in Jamaica. So that is what the Rima was all about. It's just like how Jamaicans used to describe when people put on asphalt and then used to use the Barber Green, asphalt machine, and when them say, well, hey, the man them Barber Green the road, and we're like, right? Well, we tend for kind of, so Rima, when you guys said that, I'm like, but that, I kind of remember that. One more fact for throwing upon it is that Pembroke was originally a sugar estate, not recently, but it was part where you look upon the parcel of land that where we were, right? You realize that them used to grow sugarcane up that close to Kingston because St. Andrew was basically undeveloped. So it's only in the late 50s that people start to push out from Kingston because Kingston became crowded, overcrowded.
Yeah. Push out west. It was more east.
Right. So you went northwest and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, just a couple more historical things. So the first scheme that them kind of built up was Mona, right? That was the first one.
Mona built before Pembroke Hall.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Mona built from 58,
definitely.
right? And Mona took off because Mona basically was kind of, they describe it, some box houses, but people
Affordable.
but they were affordable. But people started to move out to Mona as it was way up Hope Road, relatively. And since it was close to UWI, University of West Indies, they had bought some of the property for faculty members who, would come and spend a 2 year and then, go somewhere else, that kind of stuff, because that was part of how UWI kind of set up.
Yeah,
all right?
Built for UWI faculty members.
Right. So after Mona built up, the next scheme that them come up with was Harbour View. Harbour View was actually, when it was built, was the largest scheme in the Caribbean, the English-speaking Caribbean. It was like
built before Pembroke Hall.
Yeah, man, that was 1,875 units according to the military research me do and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then came Pembroke Hall, and then Duane Park came in 63. That's when them started to do Duane Park, and then UN then started in 67, and then Edgewater. But I mean, the reason why I put in those last four because the technology that was used in Pembroke Hall in terms of prefab and all that kind of stuff was then starting to be used in different schemes. And whereas, for example, Mona was more a government project and Harbour View to a certain extent, Pembroke Hall and the other schemes now was more a partnership between the government and private industries.
Okay, I got you. But let me ask you something about Pembroke Hall now. All Pembroke Hall walls are tough. You ever said a wall tougher than the original Pembroke Hall wall?
Prefab, Prefab.
But that was the beauty of the Rima building scheme.
No, my old man never was doing the parking and the wall never so tough doing the park. Some smaller wall.
Smaller wall, less thick wall.
Glendale.
Yeah, like Glendale. Long after Glendale come up. But yeah, and let me ask you another question, Lascelle or Mikey. When you can answer this, where Pembroke Hall get the road name them from?
I don't know.
Actually, if you think about it, I mean, that is a very interesting question. As I said, that's a good question. But
you would have been the man for answer it because I wonder, say Pembroke Hall was Sugarland. You do that, you come up with a research.
No, well, I mean, the reason, I come up with the research, I just basically go into just basically the government have some back things, and if you kind of look through some of the documents, you'll find. So, for example, there is a Pembroke Hall also in St. Mary. You know that, right? There's a Pembroke Hall
I'm aware of that.
There's a Pembroke Hall in St. Mary, right? But the name Pembroke Hall is really from England. The name came from England, Pembroke. So if you look and you do research, you find that there is actually a place called Pembroke Hall in England that holds like a college and all that kind of stuff, So a lot of the things that we got were probably English names. So if you think about Covey is a word that describes what? A group of birds. And Clydesdale would have been a horse. And so, but you give me something to kind of research, to kind of figure out exactly where the names come from. Because sometimes the names have some relevance.
Right. It's like go ahead, Phil.
You suppose you can't find the answer to that.
Come again?
If you find the developer,
well, that is the whole thing. I mean, even I got through the architectural. There's an architectural digest in Jamaica, and them was probably talking more about in terms of what kind of building technique they use in houses, but they never really talk much about it. But like you said,
it's more about the construction design,
right?
Than it is the naming of the streets and so forth.
Right. I'm a good friend of and I'm a historian. Colin Chana. Arthur Collington, I must say to Mr. Jelly, him know where the name them from UNN come from. It's like UNN name after like Greek thing, marathon and bronze and gold and them thing there. And like him that Mr. Mona now name after like our Mona name after the rose him up a Mona like flowers or something. I don't remember if me
Right.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
but I have Buttercup driver
Yeah,
in a
but you
Mona.
must say Jelly, I just can't know where Permacar get the road name them from. That's why I come up with that question. In the last one time.
No, but I mean, think about the Chesterville, Clydesdale.
Them that English name, you know, you're right. You know,
Yeah,
right.
there's
Yeah, man.
a lot of C's and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Calbeck. So I mean, you know, who knows? The Earl of Calbeck. You know.
Yeah. Maybe. That's well. Let's say somebody will come do the research and come give you the answer. That's the purpose of them program. That they just it's a historical thing we have put on. I said, some man want to find out about Permacar. Them come here, I said, come get a historical lesson. So may I ask you something, Mikey? Where you agree that Pembroke like 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom? When are we are the difference there? Enough man.
Then the most man, hold on, remember one thing, you know. My cousin Dirks.
Dirks Gamble?
Yeah.
Winston
He was in the
tree. Never know. Yes?
Yeah.
And Skelly,
Yeah.
brother, we used to go Calabar.
And Skelly, yeah.
Yes, right.
Them they live over in the 3-bedroom side.
Yeah.
You understand me? And as a matter of fact, that was basically when my father go foreign, him did basically control my house to make sure everything all right. Man, as a man, you understand me?
Yeah.
You understand? But then again, that was me that run things, quote unquote, somebody think.
You run things some long time, I hear you.
No. You think he was a run thing, but
you say, but you have to take it into consideration.
Run things last. Exactly.
Then hold on, like, I mean that yard, you know.
Yeah, man, you're the man of yard because I am.
There you go.
Fun that.
You understand me? But you know.
No. So last year that we were at the difference at that age from them time they said that difference between the 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. I never know that, you know.
Of course we did. Because 2-bedroom come from the east, come across to Cane Coran.
Yeah, and then from Pembroke Drive go over a 3-bedroom.
And then from Pembroke Drive go over, which part Adair and all the people that used to live.
Aqualita and Anandale, yes.
Aqualitaville, right. A 3-bedroom that go over there, so.
And Clydesdale, a 3-bedroom them there. I didn't know that. A long afterwards. I want to tell you, that man, me know, he used to live the Angle Theatre, and me say, like him, I said, there was a friction between 2-bedroom man and 3-bedroom man in the early days.
Me hear that. Me hear that argument there. But the argument that I would have probably put to the man them is this. Since, remember, we talk about the government-private partnership, right? And so if you really want to sell houses to aspiring middle-class people, because technically you could have said the 2-bedroom was for the lower middle class and the 3-bedroom was for the upper middle class, but we're still middle class to a certain extent. Right.
But gentlemen, let this not deter you to understand what the status is right now, because guess what? Me not think no 2-bedroom there Pembroke anymore.
No.
No,
me know that. But guess what? The 3-bedroom, Mikey, the lot is much bigger, you know. Bigger lot, you know. Compared to what we
Not by much. Not by much, no, brother. Because I tell you, say, my cousin them used to go to my cousin them yard, and I basically they have a bigger backyard.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, man, Jelly, even our property them on our street, you could have built a second house, but even on a part two, because remember, I said where Boogle Ben live, a 2 house in the yard there, you know.
Yeah, I remember when we live on Calbeck Avenue, the go take some of our property, you know.
Yeah, but still a whole heap of space between the original house and the boundary line to the gully.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe at the front, I look on. I'd say I never noticed as original.
But I mean,
look on the front because you probably can remember your house with it in a state of addition.
Yeah.
And not before the addition.
Yeah. So
you know what I found?
It's like for Miss Jenkins' house right now, with the addition, it's like Miss Palmer house. The front almost the right out to the arm wall.
Right.
You mean Miss Palmer is past tenant used to live?
Yeah, Raymond and Stennet mother.
Arville.
Raymond Stennet, Arville.
Right.
Yeah, them live 2 doors from beside me, Mikey.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man. And Philip live 2 row below.
Same thing, Jelly.
Yeah.
Me and you sandwich them between
2
four
hours.
or 3 houses. 3 houses.
Yeah, man. Same one, Mikey. But last year I got to say something. Sorry.
No. Continue, man.
No. We look at Pembroke Hall and we realize that, look, man, it was a unique place. Because you saw, in a Pembroke Hall, remember, as far as football, whatever game player, we're the first people who come up with a club.
Well, a corner league Pembroke Hall was initially the first community that really established a corner league.
Get into that,
right?
Come on, get into that.
And
what year that started last, as far as you remember? And who
no,
started?
actually, listen, what we can probably tell you about is a couple of things, all right? So, we remember, like, you had Covey, you had Patosi, you had these different teams that was essentially a player, all right? But what had happened to Covey was kind of unique because we were the first youth club, not a soccer club. We weren't a soccer club per se. We were a youth club.
And you talk about Covey or El Furto?
No, El Furto.
Right.
El Furto, right?
Covey, right.
Okay. So El Furto was basically a youth club. And I need to acknowledge a man named Mr. Vinny Hunt that used to live on Annandale Avenue. He used to work for SDC because I had met him and he was the one that, we're talking about, clubs. And he basically helped me to kind of formulate what we wanted to do. So when we sat around and we talked, we basically get a good idea exactly what we wanted to do as far as a club. Matter of fact, when we formed the club, Colleen Perkins was actually our secretary and treasurer.
Perkins, you should go Merle Grove, the older sisters, yes.
Yes.
But what year was the club formed?
About 70-71. And here,
okay,
right. And so here the genesis behind the club now. So most of us that used to be on Covey, we're not talking the team, but just live on Covey per se, right? We used to play cricket most of the time. We were okay, right? Yes. And so what would happen is that more time we'd hit ball and go over somebody's yard, and that was the end of the ball, right?
A regular thing, that man.
Right. So it was. Me and Mikey talk one day. We come up with this bright idea. Say, listen, we want to do something for National Heroes Day. We figure if we do something for the community, then we could have probably get some love and respect from the community, but actually we just want back with balls, right? So what we decided to do is we decided that we were going to clean up the road. So we go to Mr. Shim, Chris, uncle, right? And we borrow Chris Maxwell, right? Yeah. And Mr. Shim lent us his lawnmower. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you remember, but Mr. Shim had probably the best lawn in a Pembroke Hall.
No, gentlemen, there's no probably.
Mr. Shim had the best lawn in a Pembroke Hall.
That, man. We call them grass again, crabgrass.
No, not crabgrass. That's what you call Zoyza. Let me interject something here. Let me interject something here, last. And remember the one thing, gentlemen, that is the place that Chris Maxwell first ever dived for a ball.
Panagrass.
All right. So anyway,
what a dive.
Well, we'll get to that, Mike. But go ahead, talk about the introduction of we pronounce it correctly. It's El Furto or El Furto.
Fuerto. Fuerto.
I want to come up with that name there.
No. El Fuerto. Fuerto.
Spanish.
Yes.
Right. And Spanish, that means the bowl ones. That's basically what it means.
The bowl. Okay, all right. I got
the bowl ones. Okay, so essentially...
Go ahead, lads. Continue.
So what happened was that we decided to clean up, our street. So we started from the Gilfillian house all the way back down to the Foster house. And Mrs. Dunn used to work at Leonard de Carnival. She got us some brushes and she got us some whitewash. Like we said, we borrow Mr. Mr. Shim,
Lawnmower.
lawnmower,
Yeah.
right? And every man bring them last, and we started at the Gilfield and them house, and we cut the grass, we whitewash the curb wall, we trim back the tree them, and we stack up the garbage, and we do that all down every house down the road. And I tell you, from that changed in terms of perception that people had of us playing on the road, because now them realize that we weren't really just quote unquote idlers, but
Idler.
When
we
Yeah.
had some responsibility.
I put a stake on them and I say, yeah, not take on the responsibility. I say,
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah, them still view them as constructive kids.
right. So then all of a sudden now, we had this goodwill that was extended towards us.
Yeah.
So then now we start realize now at the age at where we were, say third farm and all that kind of stuff, that if we really want to play Manning, we have to go play more football. So we used to play football on the road.
Like
But
scrimmage on the road.
right, and all that kind of stuff. So we decided now, say, if we're really gonna play Manning and them things, we really need to put together a team so we can practice and all that kind of stuff. So Wheeler is the one that come up with the name El Fuerte. He was at the Spanish at Kingston Tech, right? And I don't know if he actually come up with it because he was drinking some Mackinson stout or whatever it is. But
Yo, careful.
anyway, I just not sure what that Wheeler still. I don't worry about that, right? But anyway, so that is it, and we formed this club, and then Mr. Hunt, right, Vinny, immediately come by and he said to us, "So where you guys going to meet?" All right. So then now, what he precipitated is that we should have go down to the junior secondary school and go talk to the headmaster down there.
That was Mr. Titus at the time.
Mr. Titus. So I went to talk to him. I mean, I went to go speak to him and I said to him, so, we have this youth club.
Hold on. Before you continue that, last, how old were you when I take on them thing, yeah?
I
Why
was
you competing, man?
That's what I say.
13, 14, 15?
No, that's what I say. That's why I want to make sure people understand the audacity I want to have to say at 13 and 14 years old. You just say, you got to talk to the principal. Now you're mine. I don't think that's nothing at all.
No, we just go down there and go talk to him.
Yeah,
And,
remember, that's a big, we don't go begging for the pitch,
No. Actually, we're going to ask him if we could have meet down there. So, boom. So we actually, I guess we make a good impression on him, and him say, all right, you can meet down here every 2 weeks. So we started to meet down at Pembroke Hall Junior Secondary School, and that is how the netball come in, because there was a netball court in the back of the school, right? So the girls who were playing netball would have come and play netball, and we'd have played with them also, because so we kind of learned the game netball, but like Mikey said, it was to give them competition, and it really worked out, because at one time I remember that both Colleen and her sister Janet got called up for the Jamaica national netball team and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like I say, it was fortuitous in the sense that we are in the right place at the right time and all that kind of stuff.
Community.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we kind of progressed from there, and that was part of in terms of leadership. Now, I must say that I have heard from other people in your age group who said, listen, what you guys did with Elfredo kind of make the dynamics kind of change a little bit in Pembroke Hall, because now people start realize what you could do at a younger age. But we never really think about it from the standpoint of the age. We were thinking about it from the standpoint of the needs. So like the second year after we clean up the road, when we decided to clean up the road the second year now, a lot more people pitch in. So some people actually come out there and help us. But a lot of people start giving money, in terms of, buy food, so we're going to get some bread and we're going to get, so we could eat when we do this, and we could make some sugar and water, some lemonade, that kind of stuff. And we'd go with Miss Mac could donate something, that kind of stuff. So we kind of understand now what we were kind of doing in terms of promoting the community itself.
Yeah.
So that was a big learning experience for us all. Right? So that was kind of how the club.
Let me ask you something then. So when you decide to farm El Furto, and I hope I say the Spanish right, because we can't roll the Spanish like or we like. When you decide, because where I say, Kofi already in the corner league, last Mikey, Cove was already the Carnival League was already playing.
Right.
Yes.
So technically we couldn't come in as Covey because that there was already a team named Covey.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
a mystery yourself for me. I couldn't understand. Oh, two teams upon Cove and at the only road. Remember, have two teams in the Carnival League. No understand. No one
But the
understand.
reason why there was two teams on Covey because the Walls live at that house on Covey. So basically that was Thunder was really the man that I kind of run Covey.
Cove team. Yeah, I remember
Right.
that.
And
Right.
and so
And I know
you
for
know
them, about 3 or 4 brother them, and all them used to play for Cove. Yes.
Yes.
right,
Freeland,
so
Ronald, and Bomi. Yes.
right, Boom the youngest one, whatever it is, right? So yeah. So
Yeah,
and this is why we end up named El Freto.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the bold ones because we are saying, we want back with name, but we not give it. So we come up with a name.
So hold on, Mike. I want to come for join there. I want to get on if apply for enter the Carnival League. How that it go?
We basically go to the
I know
meeting.
the application really was go on meet down. I'm making
Go to
notes
the
of who
meeting.
want to play.
We want to play, and whatever the fee was that, whatever the fee that we need, whatever the fee that we needed to pay, we come up with the funds to pay that. And like we said remember, people were actually giving us money for like when we clean up the things to them that donate funds. So essentially, we start to have a little bit of funds, and then as the club progressed now, and we used to charge our dues. And every time you come meet, you pay a little dues, a small amount. So we kind of have a little bit of money in the kitty. So when we come and we ask now that we wanted to participate, all right, because that first year, when we play in a Carnival League, we get some beating from some of the big teams,
But no, I understand why. Go ahead, Mike.
One of the things I want to say, is that as far as crowd support was concerned, we had the crowd to give us the support.
Mm-hmm.
Because all our parents make sure them come down at the field, come watch a ball game, because them pick me a player.
But Uno must have been the youngest team.
Yeah, we were the young.
That's why we get the beatings we got.
No, I understand why El Furto was a beating stick to put it right.
Excuse me, no. I beg you to take that back. We were defeated, not beaten, I should say.
Defeated, but not like a boy.
Absolutely.
14, 15-year-old now play against big 20-year-old man.
And then the next thing you have to understand, like you said, most of the teams like Patosi, Asphalt, most of them teams had somebody who was the guiding person, somebody that had played soccer before. So like, you'd have Briscoe, Raleigh Briscoe, you have people from Patosi, Carwina, you have Bobby Fire up Asphalt. And that we never really have no one in our community who was really that. So we had to basically learn, on the job, right? On our own, right? I don't know if you remember, but Carlton Livingston, I don't know if you know the name, Carlton Livingston, singer, reggae singer, and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So Carlton used to live up at Chesterville, but he used to hang out with we. So he played for El Freto also. And that is how we actually got some guys to come and play for us in the second season. So we had Ken Rose that come and play for us. And then we used to have this guy named Lewis. Them used to call him Gilligan. He used to play, used to start Manic Up and all that kind of stuff. Then, we get about 3 or 4 players. And, and as we got more people that come in, I said, would like to play for El Freto because people realized that we needed some help. Okay. But
go ahead, yeah.
Gentlemen, the most important thing to me, me lose my game.
What do you mean?
Me lose my game and I'm goalkeeper no more. Who do you
Tell me how that go, Mikey. Tell me how that go.
No, we get a yes, I. Until we get a goalkeeper from Trenchtown. Was it Trenchtown, Plummie?
Last. Goalkeeper. Yeah, man, we get a goalkeeper. Yeah.
A good goalkeeper, I just go sit down on the bench and wait. You understand? Me just look good.
And,
until after a while, Chris, I want to tell you, until after a while, we inveigle Chris for keep goal. And Chris got better than the rest.
Yeah. Chris became on top.
So one of the things that you guys have to understand too, is that, listen, for us to really compete with the bigger teams, we used to get up early in the morning, sometimes at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and we'd run from Pembroke Hall, go up to like Lee's Flat and come back down. And so we did our fitness because more time when we come home from school, you never have nothing at all. Right? And other day I noticed somebody had made a statement about why we never play cricket at the second field at the one on Cane Current right there. So because that field was not big enough for a cricket pitch.
Not could be a match. I just bowl for battle for a play on that. Catch a show behind
Precisely. Right. Just about. So that is kind of what happened, right?
Competitive match. And I'm asking about that as you mentioned that last. Because Pembroke Hall never take off in a cricket at all. In terms of like how football became synonymous with Pembroke Hall. Because the amount of ball that Pembroke Hall produce, all I don't know them. But it never take off in a cricket where you had a competitive Pembroke Hall cricket team. Why do you think that is the case?
We just never have no grounds. We
And Mark, we had talent. But we did not have the accumulation of facilities and players of that standard to make a name.
You call cricket harder for playing now because in terms of you need a ground, I need a whole heap of man.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, so other day you talk about even people from Pembroke Hall at play because like Buckner, I don't know if you remember Buckner, right? Mikey Buckner, right? Right. So Mikey and I basically we were playing Sunlight at Calabar like probably third and fourth farm.
Oh really? Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, what my set says that cricket, like my dad, cricket was his first love. And Mr. Cadigan, cricket was their love. So Sundays we would be in beside the house, I play cricket. And more time, we used to love that because when the window them break, more time and them broke the window. So we now have to get no beaten for broke the window.
Yeah,
cricket. Them go buy the stuff and, we okay.
Yeah, cricket was my love to last. And I don't know if you know that, but they better go on for a play Sunlight for Meadowbrook and Island with it. So, yeah.
Right. So that was
there, Mikey. For verify, I said the talent was there in a Pembroke Hall, but it just there was no Pembroke Hall team for play for.
Absolutely.
Or aspire for play for, like yes.
No, but even as such, we still had a cricket team. We still played cricket all over the place.
So which part are you going to play? Which league are you going to play now? Minor Cup? Which cup are you
going to play? I remember we went to St. Elizabeth to play cricket. Now Brompton, yeah.
Yeah, we go all over the place. I mean, we play different things and all that kind of stuff. So we basically tried for really establish a cricket team. But in fact, I think, Billy, who used to live with Mikey, right? Billy ended up playing for the USA in a one World Cup. Cricket.
Michael Gordon.
Okay.
Guy with a big afro, right? So like we said, the talent was there, and Wheeler, Patrick, Mikey themselves used to play for telephone company and all that kind of stuff. So, like we said, the talent was there, but we just never really have somebody to say, okay, we're going to try to form a cricket team.
We couldn't accumulate a good team.
A good team, right? Because remember, football was really the sport that everybody kind of attract.
Football is an easier sport. Well, they're playing a proper called Corner League already. The structure was there. There was no...
Was there, right.
Corner League.
Well, gentlemen, let us not... Let me ask you... Let me say one thing before you go further. Let us not blind you to the excellence of El Fuerto's basketball team, the girl them netball team.
Well, we're going to make a talk about that. But we're going at that because we need to break them up, them come up on the program. But go ahead with the question, Phil.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. Which one are the sport on the first love? Football or cricket?
Yeah, good question. Good question, that.
I mean, for me, technically, I don't think there is one can say that you love the next one and not love the other because you learn different things from the different sports.
Yeah,
right?
But one of them must draw more passion in your touch your heart more.
Well, for me, football was my thing.
I say football was really the thing that really would have been the love because I mean, I end up playing more football. I mean, I stopped by the time I get to sixth form. I decided I needed to study, so I could not play, football in the fall and then cricket in the spring. All right.
Right.
You have to choose one of the
Okay.
sport them. I got you.
So one of the sport them had to kind of back off a little bit so we could have study. Because,
Which one was it?
well, cricket, basically, I played more soccer, and then, the cricket kind of is,
The cricket, I got our clash with the exam time. The cricket, yes.
that was the next thing, too. Cricket with a clash with the exam time when you have to go O levels and A levels, right? So, that was that one, right? But you learn a lot from playing both sports. And I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, or at least what I'm implying by that, in the sense that, if you play cricket, you learn about patience and other little things. And so when you start play football, you're not going to dive in for a man for tackling and everything. You go probably wait and see exactly where we move and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, you learn both from either sport.
Yeah, well, that's understood. I mean, any endeavor you take on, it's got to be something to be learned from it. As long as you're paying attention. So, Mikey, what about you? Mikey?
Mike's?
Miss the son.
Mikey, I went there for true. I see him on the screen, but I don't see him. I went down there now, Plummie.
I don't know. So we continue till him come back in.
Yeah.
In Carlos drop? Him just drop off? And probably will Carlos back since he know the procedure now. All right. So what other questions you have for me now? So we can try and answer them.
Yeah, man. So hold on. You went out, you go on for play. No, Mikey got talk about the netball and the basketball.
I can tell you about the net. I can tell you about the netball. So like we said, we used to play with the girls netball a whole lot because we had girls in the club, and so what the sports that the girls were doing was netball and track and field. Because we actually had gone to a couple of meets. Same with Mr. Hunt because from SDC, right? Yeah. So we had the first time we actually went into Meadowbrook High School is because them had a track meet over there for clubs, youth clubs in the northwest corporate area. So we'd have compete against teams from different things, and that is where we actually win our first trophy. Yeah. And we lost that trophy because of Gilbert. Because I left it.
I look like it drop. Well, go ahead, Blas. It's all right. Go ahead.
So we kind of, so that is where we won our first trophy as a club trophy because we went and we were competing in terms of both boys and girls, and at the end of the day, when they add up the points, Alfredo was number one. So, yeah, that is how we bring home the first trophy. And I had it for the longest a while until Gilbert took off the roof up of the house. And next thing I know, I come back and the trophy drop off of the piano, and the bass smash off and all that kind of stuff. But, that was
Mikey,
good for us.
You don't know for join back. Go ahead, yes.
Yeah, Lascelle. Mikey, as would I say, what is it? Which one you prefer, the cricket or the football?
Right now, but I love football more still.
Yeah. Why, you was better at it, or that it's just a preference?
Just a preference. The game shorter.
And you, Lass, which one you prefer?
Actually, the funny thing, I don't know if I could really choose between both, all right? Whether it was cricket or football, but for most of the people on our road, since we used to play a whole lot more, I think we used to play a whole lot more cricket than we play football. But we still play football, scrimmage, and all that kind of stuff. But I think, from my perspective, I think the parents, them that used to interact with us when they play games, like, my neighbors, Mr. Cadogan and all that kind of stuff, would end up the cricket, beside, the driveway on the side of the house. So usually with football, we probably end up broke less window. That's when we play cricket.
And your
Then we
father
play
loved
football.
cricket. Your father loved cricket more or less.
Yeah, man. My father, cricket was for him sports still.
Yeah, Jelly, I think you did mention that.
Yeah, cricket is a gentleman's game. Football are like a different class. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if you look in a Jamaican society, I think initially, I mean, football, I don't know, it was kind of one time, if you could say class stratified, yes or no, I don't know. I mean, was it that most people used to play soccer or football, or more people used to play cricket? I think in the early part, more people used to play cricket than people used to play soccer still.
No, I think that is.
Just tradition. But like we said, the problem with Pembroke Hall and cricket was concerned was that the only way we could really have a good cricket field is either we're going to play upon a football field, and that never go fly because the ground where them set up for play cricket upon across the other side of the road wasn't big enough.
Never big enough. No. Cricket costs a little more money for player to Plummie.
And that is, but that's what I'm saying. Part of it is, is just how the sport come out. I mean, think about it. In the early days, you'd have find a bat and a ball. You could have make a ball out of old sacks and all manner of things, bamboo root, and you could have play with that with a bat where even a coconut bat. Remember, man used to have coconut bow bat.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so you could have really turn hand as Jamaican, should I say, and end up with something that you really like, to play the game. But once football became a cheaper alternative, because remember when we buy our first ball, right? Real good soccer ball. It costs a good amount of money. It costs more than the way I buy a cricket ball. I used to buy a compressed ball because you never want to use a leather ball on the road. So them little things there, and we usually get more free cricket gear than actually football gear. But that was part of it still.
Yeah, and the cricket probably developed quicker than the football. Because cricket had come down from the colonial days. The cricket they developed more in than football for certain class, I think. For certain class.
No, but hold on, look. The truth of the matter is that it was all dependent on the season, Because when we play ball on the road for cricket season, we play cricket.
Well, that's true, Mikey. That is so true. Because I see everything we do on a Calvert Avenue. When a cricket season, a cricket we play. When a football we play. Yeah, we'll find a way to play two of them. Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is true.
And when you bounce a ball to man, next thing you know, look out the window.
And the cricket, the game done.
Yeah.
So when you look on the road,
you run behind.
When you look on the road, only it's a 3 stone.
Exactly, lads. Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
But by the way, how did you say to win some netball trophy? How that did go?
And the girl them they win that, man.
How that did go? So which one I play? Which one them netball competition they play? I never even aware of that at all. Like, who they play on the team there?
Well, we were lucky in the sense that we had the Perkins girls.
I named them out. Colleen, remember? Colleen, you got murdered with my sister.
Janet.
Right. And Janet, our younger sister. And those two went on to be called up to the Jamaica national team.
Hold on, lass. Janet is who? It's not Marva you're talking about?
No,
I compete in them time there.
No, Janet is the one that really follow Colleen.
I don't remember.
Colleen, right?
I don't remember her at all. I don't. Philly don't remember her.
No.
I don't remember her at all, lass. Which school should they go?
Merle Grove.
Merle Grove, too? I don't remember her at all. Should they go for it? But go continue anyway. So I said Janet, Colleen and who? Janet, your name?
What was saying?
Yeah, Janet and Desiree.
Desiree is the mother sister, but I mean we used to have like Lyria and some other people that play with us. Who else was that play upon our road with them girl, them Mikey?
I mean, any girl that used to live in my house used to play.
Yeah, man. So that would have been, Lyria.
Lyria did play.
And there's this young lady that used to live down nearby the field across from the Fatah bus terminal there. I can't remember her name still, but she used to play upon the team. But I mean, it's a while still, but I mean, what used to happen to us, in terms of appreciating netball is the fact that we'd play with the girls on Saturday mornings down by the secondary school
Or run
because
that
they
back
had
pad near the primary with the netball court.
right
Okay,
where the netball court was. So we usually play with them. I mean, boys
Well,
up there, girls.
don't make it sound so. Don't make it sound so. We usually play the game with them.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thank you for the correction. We used to play the game of netball
Now
with
play
them.
with the girls, man. You're your mic.
No, just trying to be correct.
Understand the times we are living in, man.
Yeah. So, but may I ask you something though? Why is it to the thing say the netball never take off in a Pembroke Hall like how the football take off?
Again, it's organization, and I think when you did say something, I think when you was a talk to Penny's sister, and you had an interview with Penny's sister, right? And she was a talk about Mrs. Scott was to make sure so that them daughters go up on the road, because remember the freedom that parents would have in terms of allow them daughters was kind of restricted, all right?
Yep.
So you have to remember, in our case, I guess having Colleen as somebody big and all that kind of stuff when we went down, we'd have more encouraged more parents to send them kids, them daughter come out on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm going to have a caveat on that. It all depends, because sometimes some people have to go take care of them chores, or them have to go shopping or marketing with the mother. So, those are considerations. But in our case, we kind of get around that, and we're thankful for that still. But I think, again, like you ask about Pembroke Hall, we never really have nobody that would, scout into the whole, housing scheme and say, hey, I start a netball club and all that kind of, right? Okay, so, it's just the time or the time change in terms of, who not only who is allowed to participate, but who got permission to participate, all right?
Look. Let me interrupt you for a brief second. One of the things about it, is that we had a club.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We had a club.
Expand on that then. So I said that a team them never have a club.
No. Okay, let me take up that one and Mikey and run with it a little bit. I think what Mikey trying to say really is that El Fureto was a boys and girl club. We weren't only a soccer club, because we played cricket, we run track and field, we played netball. So whatever activities there were that we could make sure all the members of our club participate, those are the things that we went for. Yeah. And if we had women, I mean, what women was going to do besides netball and track and field? They never play football them time. They never play cricket and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So those are the kind of the events that we kind of invest in, because we wanted to make sure that the members of the club, the female members of the club, were active participants in whatever we do. So just like how we go on and go cheer them on when they play a game, when we play a game, it was reciprocated.
Yeah, but it's a valid point Mike I bring up, because when really I say, which is true, and just what you said now, me realize, most of the other team them, it was football exclusively last. I can't remember no other team, Patosi or Carwin or Covey or Asphalt. So them have a club where it's a club where involve both male and female. You follow me? I said to you. Go ahead.
A genuine community club.
Right. Like on the setup. So on the setup for the thing, on was the last club company scene in a sense, last. I want to set up on the club. And I do him from the design it and realize it does different. How that it come about then? When it does the side, that's how I got to do it. Why do you never start as a football club? Like the rest of them?
I guess because in terms of the friendships and the relationships that exist, once, like I said, you say, talking to Vinny Hunt, the man from SDLC, right? Not really SDLC, but was it SDC, right?
Yeah.
One of the things he was kind of saying to me initially when we start thinking about putting together a club, him say, you need to get some young ladies involved in the club, because evidently what he was seeing is that not many clubs were reaching out to young ladies.
Yeah.
All right. So we decided, say, hey, there is what you say power in numbers, because then we'd have a whole lot more people that participate, and we'd have more outreach, which is kind of what happened in the long run.
Yeah, that was a visionary move. That's all I can tell you. Not thinking back and see what no did. Says like no other team did that. No other team had that vision. And maybe because when the youngest club in terms that when they come on the latest on the scene, and then appear young set up on the team. You follow me? I say, because you talk about the average age of your team was much younger than most of the other team them last. Much younger.
Yeah, but I think it's also probably, if we should give ourselves a pat on the back, a little bit more awareness in terms of how we was, I think, about what it takes to make a club. But then again, that is hindsight is 2020. So I mean, I'll tell you that. But I mean, like I say, when we spoke to Mr. Hunt, him recommend that. And then once we broached the subject with the young ladies around our community, so they were very eager and interested in it.
No, it's not like you set out and say you're creating a vision. You just say at the time it just makes sense to do it. I follow what I say. Follow what I say. But may I ask you something though? Where both of you, Mike, you can take that one here first. When Pembroke Hall in minor league, were you aware that Pembroke Hall had won the minor league? 1967.
I don't. Hold on. I don't remember Pembroke Hall winning minor league. Mark, one year we play minor league with Pembroke Hall,
Which year that you played? That after we win there?
Me don't remember. Me don't remember.
You have to remember, say, a couple of times, Spartacus come revive Mikey, But anyway, continue.
So hold on. All right, Mikey, remember who you play with? Who you play with? Me say remember that.
You know who was reserve?
Who?
Short Bobby.
Which Bobby? So you keep goal?
Yeah.
We might talk about last. Which short Bobby might talk about?
Let me tell you who, man.
Bobby lived on a punch pant. Near his spot, Bill Moore them live. Near the triangle field, man.
Oh, right up where we used to live at Calbeck and Patosi corner, right? That's all.
Yeah.
Do you know him at our class?
Not really. But Mikey can tell you that.
Not draw blank, that's a Mikey. But so you know, but hold on. So when Pembroke Hall in minor league in '67, you weren't aware right either, lass?
Well, we hear about it afterwards, and we'll go down and watch some of the game them, because But you have to remember, say 67, 68, Mikey, first farm, right?
Yeah, you just started high school.
First farm that, for Mikey, and then I start working at 68.
So you didn't start high school yet then at all, so you might not have no
right, yeah. So we know the man was a player football, and we'd go down there and say, but you have to understand, say, them times, like being the oldest in the family, when I come home from school, I have to make sure everything taken care of in the house, because more than like mom and dad at work. And although we are latchkey kids, your responsibilities for your younger siblings them to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So you still have to maintain that. Is as we get little older, or as them get little older, where we could have probably get little freedom, then we could have venture out and go down on the field and try to play somebody even them. I think once we get to high school and it was established that sports was part of the curriculum and you get involved, you get a little bit more leeway from your parents then.
Yeah.
All right, but prior to that, it's like, hey. Yeah.
You can't. You get restricted a certain way.
Right.
Yeah. So Mikey started Calabar before you. Mikey never got Calabar.
Mikey got Calabar, man. Mikey started Calabar the year before.
The year before you, okay. And you and women did go Calabar too. Penny.
Yeah, like you said. I will start out together at Calabar.
I never even know that.
So it was Penny, and Plummie. Penny and Plummie, I try to go to school more time. I come home from school. Like I said, I knew them pretty well.
I was the only boy amongst a whole heap of girls.
Well, Penny Penny was the only boy in them family, essentially.
Yeah. And I see him thing again. The boy have a little more freedom than the girl.
But that was just, that was part of the whole thing. And I'm sure as you talk to more women, you get that feeling. Say, yeah, there was restrictions in terms of what them could do,
Yeah,
and
we hear that when we talk to women, man. Come on, that's exactly what we hear to last. That's exactly what we hear. So, under the son of ball boy at Calabar, how that go? Who introduced you to that? Who play for Calabar that under got contacts and links?
Actually, I think say, Mike, how that did go? How would it end up being ball boy at first?
I'm Mr. Phillips.
Yes, Al Phillips.
Al Phillips, man.
Who's
Al Phillips.
Al Phillips recruited.
Okay, so Al Phillips, Calabar old boy, Olympian, Commonwealth person, and all them things. Him come with a good amount of what you call it, experience, behind him thing. But he was a sports master at Calabar when we start. And then I guess probably for some, I don't know what kind of method he was using, how him do it, but we end up getting chosen among others to be ball boys. So we go and enjoy it.
That way we are guaranteed to go to the game.
Yes. Sometimes they want to go all of the money.
Right, but you can't tell your parents you're going to go watch. You're a ball boy.
Yeah. It's like you get a job then, certain way. Yeah.
There you go,
No, it's like we're pseudo players.
What?
And it was a great experience.
No, man, it was a great experience of being at the changing room. And then, like I always laugh and say, halftime, the man them used to come around with some sugar and water, Mikey, or some wash, lemonade, and that is what you drink at halftime.
That is always available.
Always available, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember later on the man them start, giving glucose and all that kind of stuff. Sugar a beat for you go back the second half and all that kind of stuff. But that was part of the whole thing, the experience. But being a ball boy actually was also good because it means that you get to know the player them on a one-on-one basis. And when them see you as a big boy up on campus and you're bridging and them yell you up.
Yeah, man. You get stuck.
Then,
you have coverage, man. Yeah. Yeah. I can't see that.
You're really the big boys.
Precisely. And I mean, it means more time, even time, you might even get a game on a Friday evening. And, there might be, because, more time as a ball boy, you're on the back of the goal, a shag ball. That is your job because they're not giving a game. But as it doesn't get to know you, after a while, you start getting a game, yes, and this. So that was kind of it still.
And I think with the ball boy now, all of the match play a stadium too, last.
Right, all the game them play a stadium. So you have to remember now, in my time and Mikey time, we had Peter Moses, Masters, Ultimate Dark, Mackenzie, brother him, Handicap, what other you did name again? Oh God, no. Just we have a good set of baller. We have Piggy Ashman and some other man and all that kind of stuff. So we had a good
all of them
squad of
man Calabar.
Right, I go school, because remember I said Ultimate Black Mackenzie used to come Calabar,
I never even know that. That's a good point. I never even know it's a Calabar used to go. It's a Calabar old boy. Yes.
Right.
I think someone mentioned that already, Jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the previous that.
When you talk about that last, most Pembroke Hall, man, you think if you'd have to take a poll, you'd have said the majority of man they go Calabar from Pembroke Hall.
Yes and no, because even when we start with Calabar, you'd still have man them who were able to go to KC based upon where them was living, either when them take the scholarship. Because I think what the government was trying to do was to try and build up what you call the community school. So if you're in a community that near to Calabar, Pembroke Hall, Washington Garden, Duane Park, Patrick City, anywhere within a 5 or 10 mile radius of Calabar, so 5 miles, essentially you were kind of zoned for that. All right? So that was kind of the thing. But I mean, one of the things that we have to think about, we'd still have people who, while we were going to Calabar, the man that get a chance to go like KC. So you had man in our community who went to KC. So that is why you'd have like JC and different schools. So, you still had that, I guess probably because of pull or whatever it is, but you still had people going to other schools besides Calabar.
Yeah. But enough man go Calabar. But you're right. Pembroke Hall, it was a wide cross section of people. Excelsior, all about them go school to right. All about.
Because, I mean, if you start in school, say, at Excelsior, and you live at Vineyard Town and you move from Pembroke Hall, you still have to go to school at Excelsior.
Yeah. You're going to take the common entrance over there, and whole people come from East and come up Pembroke Hall.
Right, and then you come up Pembroke Hall. So, you just...
majority of people live at East Kingston and come over on the west side. Because Pembroke Hall was like on the west side of town for sure, yeah. Yeah. And Mikey, this question here for you, and then we'll come to the last afterwards, because... Give me a El Furto match, you remember. I must spell El Furto for you. F-U-E-R-T-O. Give me a El Furto match, you remember, what you want to talk about.
No, I never really want to talk about. Oh, my goodness. No, I mean, none of them really stood out. Last, you remember anything?
No, I think that first season we played, the first year we played, we had to pay with dues as being the youngest team. We never really have the amount, the quality of players that enough of that teams would have been. We never really have a coach. It was a coach myself and all that kind of stuff, all right? So, we never go in expecting we was going to win the competition. But we'd like at least give a good account of ourselves. All right. I think, in my mind, one of the matches I remember was when we finally get some reinforcement who were not necessarily Pembroke Hall residents.
You go up on the transfer market.
Yes, So we decided we bring in some help, and. I think one of the first game we played could have been either Covia, one of them team, but they were very surprised that we was a handle them.
So bring in with that you don't know the name of them if you bring in.
My God.
Well, I remember Mumbert did bring some man from Trenchtown.
From Trenchtown, right.
Come in, come play with us and all that kind of stuff. And we'd have some youth where they come through Wheeler, through at Kingston Tech and all that kind of stuff. So it was still that school connection. Because, I mean, it's only when we start to play kind of league and them things that we start know about things like Alan Cole competition and other competitions out there. Because, although we're in a Pembroke Hall, our focus would have been on minor league, but minor league wasn't the only competition out there that people from Pembroke Hall could have participated, or our team could have participated. But as we reach out and bring in, more man and man, I say, we have another team. I say, so we don't know play at Pembroke Hall, we can come play with them, man, or we can come train, or whatever it is. We get a much better mix of people that come in, and then. At the same time, Mikey, them, like Mikey had people that them get for know that them would have come in. So that is kind of how we do it. And if you think about historically how like Patosi and even Covey and them team, they kind of build out themselves, then, I'm sure when them did start Corner League, Patosi was really the champion team because them had the best players. But after a while, the other team, them get better because them start recruit man, other man for come play. So we'd get some man who play up on a team probably come from Marvel, one man or two man might come from UN then and all that kind of stuff, plus the rest of man them, because the body will try it round out. So as the competition now get better, you find the team will bring in some more man and more team come in with more man. So that you have a Dwayne Park team, them will come in, the youth them from Valentine's Garden would come in, and even a team that they used to play over in a UN then come in. And most of the man them who was representing UN then were people that used to live in a Pembroke Hall.
So when the first match want to win, remember the first match want to win?
No, and I mean, me and Mikey always laugh about that because here why we laugh about that now. We never really, in terms of understanding how to document history to a certain extent. And that is basically what it was. So, like, if you ask if we have pictures of, like a team and everything, no, we don't really have no picture of the team, them. But, them little things there. So, I mean, we did just kind of just glad for say we are play corner league, and you know we get with licks and we take with licks, but we still was out there play. I was a get all the time.
You know, representation, man. Representation strictly.
You bring up a good point, sir, because them times the one of the things we need to document and say, boy, I will put it down and have a not even a template, but have a record. Man can look back and say that team that played that team that never happened at all. That was like a foreign concept for most people at the time.
Right. But remember one thing, gentlemen, is that we participated in most sports because the girls play netball. We play netball with them too. We used to do athletics.
Yeah. It's as early as a club when I run, not just football alone.
Absolutely.
And that make a big difference. Can you not just focus exclusively? Can you play like a cricket to an all and we're there?
No play enough cricket.
Maybe one of the only man who go outside and play competitive cricket.
Yeah.
At that club. Because Pembroke Hall never have a team who travel for go play cricket at all.
No.
And only that travel out of the community for go play cricket match.
We don't do different things. I mean, remember 1 year we went to here,
St. Elizabeth. We went to St. Elizabeth, yeah.
Not Brampton, St. Elizabeth. Yeah.
Right, and we play cricket and we play football the same day. So we play a cricket match earlier in the day, and then at the evening we play a cricket.
Same set of man them play cricket.
No, we play cricket in the day and we play football in the evening. And it's the same set of man them our team. So we are range and most and we get down there.
Yeah, we have a small pool of thing, man.
No, gentlemen, what you must take into consideration, is that we had a club.
Yeah. And it was such a massive club when I have a whole heap of numbers. It's a brand new club, and then now for us use a pool on have, yeah.
Absolutely.
You see, we are talking about the last. That happened to me when we got Meadowbrook, It's like I play 2-3 sports, Because the pool of people we have is like at the same time, man, them I play football, I play cricket and run.
But I mean, even when you look on even Calabar, so okay, take back look on the cricket. Me and Bucky, right?
That's a Mikey Buck now.
Me and Mikey Buck now. Two we make Sunlight Cup in a third farm, Third farm, before we play Sunlight Cup, all right? Because Buck now used to be a spin bowler. You remember that, all right? So the two we make Sunlight Cup in a third farm. We couldn't even sniff out both we play football. But I mean, understand now how we are set here now. So it's like for make the football team and for play Sunlight and for run track. Is that is what you call the crown in glory. In other words, here the deal was how we came to understand student-athlete role. Do well in a class, because if you don't do well, you get some rotted lick. Okay, that's the first thing when you get home and your report reach home. And then, amongst your brethren them, you want to make at least 1 or 2 school team. So the impetus that we had is not only just playing a Pembroke Hall, but we were looking in terms of us making our school team and play Manning Cup and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of how we kind of shape. And I mean, like I said to you earlier on, the people that were, some of the people that were in the club, them went on and them do things to them school and all that stuff, where they run at champs and all that kind of thing, and that is part of the whole thing. So from that level, I think we kind of succeed. There's other things that we wanted to do, but I guess, time-wise and all that kind of stuff, as you kind of grow up, kind of leave a little bit less time in terms of getting other things done.
May ask you 200 question, because I never know say I play Sunlight from third farm. That's a significant achievement last. Let me ask you something. You think Pembroke Hall make it better for you for Calabar, or Calabar make it better for Pembroke Hall? In terms of say, you learn your skill at Pembroke Hall, or you learn your skill at Calabar?
I'd say it's a combination of both. Because we used to practice on the roadside, I play how to be a medium pace and how to move the ball, because we're up on the road. I practice, and we had some good batsmen. Wheeler was a good batsman. Patrick was a good batsman.
Patrick Wang?
Yeah, Patrick
Yeah.
Wang. Yeah,
Yeah, I
right,
remember him. Yeah.
right. We had like Billy. Billy,
Billy.
yeah, I mean, if you remember Billy, Billy ended up playing for the USA in a World Cup, in
What's Billy
England.
that? What's last name?
Michael Gordon.
Yeah,
I'm
Michael
Gordon,
God.
did you? Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
Gordon.
Michael God. Yeah,
Mm.
Billy used to
You
stay
know,
with Mikey.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Go ahead, Phil.
No, man, I'm not going to Mikey so that I said something.
Mm-hmm.
no. Billy Gordon. Yeah. Who else was there? Wheeler.
Wheeler, and then we had Gerald, and we had Brads, and then so we had Aggie,
And then David who?
David who. So we had people who was
Hold on, David who
Input.
go and play for Dumptar last?
hmm?
That's him, David who there? I know man who used to play for Dumptar in a cricket.
I'm not really certain about that, but I mean I can find out.
That name that sound familiar because we used to play cricket after a while.
David went to school with us, and so we had a relationship with him and all that kind of stuff.
I never live at Pembroke Hall, but I come play cricket, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He used to spend more time. He used to spend more time at Pembroke Hall than anything else.
And he used to go like a medium pace.
Not that he had there. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. I think I know that, man. I just said I'm not so certain. I didn't want to say much, but I'm not certain at that. But we play cricket to that man. Evelyn Cup play against and side him Dumptar. So I understand what I said then. Like, I learn a skill, but Calabar, I get a coaching. A proper coaching and a proper field.
Right,
So
we're up on the road and we practice and we might have play and say, all right, we're going to do some bounces this evening and we try and get a good bounce out of the ball. But as a bowler, what you learn is how to deliver upon your length, and at the same time, you try to figure out how you're going to make sure so that you can get some movement on the ball, whether when it come up to the bowler or when it drop on the ground, where you going to do. All right? And so, so it's a combination of them the good thing there.
That's money. You learn to keep it on the ground.
And definitely have to keep it on the ground because if not up your windows, you're going to pay for.
Let me ask you something though. In terms of the two, now you can't tell that one first, Mikey. Were you gentlemen aware of the significance of the Corner League when you start play Corner League in a Pembroke Hall? The Pembroke Hall was the first community where play Corner League.
No, we no. We never know that. We never know that. Totally unaware.
Unless you never aware of the significance, I said, Pembroke Hall, the original foundation for Corner League in Jamaica.
Later on, probably like the second or third year, the significance of Pembroke Hall Corner League start to kind of, bring a different kind of awareness, because the fact that he used to play with other people and them talk about Pembroke Hall Corner League and nobody never really have no Corner League in them community except Pembroke Hall, right? That is where you start understanding. And then, by the time you get to like third farm and some of your brethren them come up from Pembroke, come play for other team or come play for your team. So people start know, say, hey, if you want to be seen, come as so. Right?
The skill of Pembroke.
Yeah. And me still have man that me know who used to come play down at Patosi. When me leave school, them man they still in a school and that, but them used to come play at Patosi. And them live up in a Valentine's Garden and all them things, but them was Calabar youth. So that is what happened.
You can't get Patosi man, they recruit the Calabar man to come play for them team down there.
Precisely.
Exactly. So only to know Chris Maxwell good? Mikey, are you put Chris in the goal first?
I want to tell you, the first evening when we were coming down, I remember we were coming down to the field to play a game. And I decided, I don't want to keep no goal today. And Chris, they have a lawn, the best lawn in Pembroke Hall.
Without a doubt.
And I said, Chris, come here. You come stop this. I'm going to kick it from the wall. And Chris, I get this come. You have to kick goal today. And that's how Chris started kick goal. Just like that.
Yeah, Chris was recruited because of emergency. Mikey decided that him was a goal scorer. So he wanted to go out in the field. But that is how Chris get, and like you said, Chris get him start. But just want to say one thing in terms of remembrance of Mr. Shim, Chris uncle that he used to stay with, and that kind of stuff.
When name last becoming a name at all. I know that Chris is living with uncle. When name?
Mr. Shim.
Mr. Shim. Okay, yeah. Go
Right.
Talk about him there. Yeah.
No man.
Syrup, yes, sir. Downtown.
No. Actually, no. That wasn't. It wasn't that Shim. He was like the shop manager down at what's it now?
Them deal with Jaguars and all them things there.
Was it
The KIG.
No man, KIG
No,
was Ford.
man.
KIG was Ford. I forget the people. Them used to be down for Water Lane and somewhere down there. So, but them used to be the dealers for British cars. It was like Jaguar,
Land Rover,
Right. Morris
Hanover
Minor,
Street where you talk. Yes.
Hanover Street, right? Was it JC Cook or something like that?
No, KIG
KIG
field. KIG a
no.
Ford, man. A different.
KIG a Ford man. KIG was always
car
Ford.
dealership, them at
Yeah,
all.
listen, a KIG have them here now, Land Rover and them things and Jaguar.
No, but that's a long time, brethren.
Them probably
But
buy it
that-
out and outfield, but you see,
Yeah, them buy it out. No, but I mean, because essentially the Mini, the Land Rover, Volvo, and some other deals were bought up by Ford.
I know
So
where
Ford,
you talk. I know where you talk. I just don't remember the dealership name down Hanover Street. I don't.
no, John R.
I know
Cooks, John R. Cooks or something like so. I think
Yeah,
that
you
was
may
it.
be right, You mean something?
John Cook.
Yeah.
John Cook.
John Cooks or J.R. Cook or something like that. But I think Cooks was the last name. But Mr. Shim was the shop manager down there. And Mr. Shim was one of the two men on the road that have a Jaguar. And it kind of coincidental that the two men on our road that had Jaguars basically the two best land.
And what's the other one? Because only Chris Land remember,
No, well, Mikey tell him about Mr. Comrie,
From at 24, Covey had a very good lawn too.
Yeah, man, he was the second to Mr. Shim. And, I mean, why we used to respect Mr. Shim, is this. Mr. Shim would have go out and him go country, evidently. And when him come back in, Mr. Shim a wash off the Jaguar, star. I mean, me never see nobody keep them cars so immaculate beside Mr. Shim, all right? So, I mean, it's like if you did want somebody to aspire towards that kind of behavior, Mr. Shim was the man.
Yeah.
And he was a very pleasant person, at least in terms of dealing with us, all right?
But the thing what it is, he kept his lawn just as clean as he kept his car.
Yeah, man.
Hold
Not
on.
even that.
Let me ask you something about the land. Was his land, because remember one time at Pembroke Hall, man put bag wire around them land. You can't walk on them land
No.
at all.
No, nobody dared walk on for him land anywhere, but him not put nothing around it.
Out
And you
of
come up, you come up
out of-
Cove Avenue, you can't miss the lawn.
out of respect to Mr. Shim line, you can probably go lay down upon it, roll down upon it, but you can't say I try to dig it up, and I'm not at all like that. Because like I say, I mean, the land was, dumb. And matter of fact, the first year when we do a clean up in Pancove for Heroes Day, right? Mr. Shim lawnmower bar, because him lend with the lawnmower, so we could have cut up next other man lawn.
Lawnmower, the one I push?
Yeah, man, the rotary
one,
blade.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember them lawnmower, man.
That's the original lawnmower.
Yeah.
Otherwise, one of them come in later in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, everybody push.
You couldn't afford it. All right, so you couldn't afford the gas to put in the tire, so you got gas is much cheaper. So
As much as some on the upper east side. They have venture in the lane there.
What position did they play? And last, you said I want to foot. What position did they play upon the team? Upon the football field?
Essentially, I started out at right wing as a winger, but then we end up a play centre half and wing back. All right, because one, I think we had better forwards than I was a forward, but also that we needed to make sure that we could protect Mikey and the goals.
Yeah.
That's what brothers do, boss.
Yeah.
So, Mikey, you never come out of the goal at all and say you want to come play out one time.
Let me tell you, that is how Chris get start
Chris
getting
game because Mikey want to come play out the evening.
We have Mikey want
You
to
come
play
to
out
the
the
right
evening.
wing.
I hear you.
Is that right? Because look at the goalkeeper that is turn out to be.
Yeah.
No, man.
Well, you know what? That is so right.
Yeah, Chris Turner will be one of the best, at least the best goalkeeper come out of Pembroke Hall. Like Pembroke Hall, man. Without a doubt, Phil. You're right. Because Brady come keep from Pembroke Hall, but Brady come from over Uenden.
Right, Brady was from you in there.
Yeah. A Calabar man, right. And Chris, I think Chris got Pembroke Hall second year at the time of the name of high school, I know, yeah.
Yeah, but didn't Chris end up going on to a Clarendon College or one of those?
Veertech.
Right.
Veertech over here.
Yeah, man, Veertech, him got played hundreds on them, man. When Veertech that dominated schoolboy football, Chris was the goalkeeper for that team there, yeah. Yeah. May I ask you another question? Did any Elfurter man playing at the Major League, and in terms of the support the Major League, any Elfurter man did make the Major League team?
I don't know if any of us made the Major League team
No.
for Pembroke Hall for that first year. But I remember said that first year in Major League, I ended up playing for Calabar Old Boys because they had a team.
Calabar Old Boys had a team in the Major League?
Yeah, man, they had a team in the Major League.
Okay.
All right, so that is how I end up. And we end up, I mean, you talk about a day, you mentioned something about like Granny Marshall and Golden Aces. We play up a Golden Aces. And I remember Golden Aces had a central defender named Romeo Taylor.
Yeah.
Right.
I call him name, I remember last, yes.
All right.
Like a hitman, like Gentile from Italy, yeah.
Precisely. And when Romeo attacked your star, you can get a punch, a kick, a bite, a buck, everything plus in between, and then drop on top of your planet too.
Yeah, man,
all right.
I remember him as I call him name last year.
Okay. But yeah, overall it was a kind of spread win because the next year Calabar Boys never did play a Major League. But I end up, by then I did kind of leave school and start, to think about other things, like work. So I end up play business house football, and so like Mike, them I play for telephone company and all that kind of stuff, and I used to down at the wharf for work, so I used to play for port workers, and then you have to remember, I said that port workers had man like Latos was playing centre half for port workers.
Latos McLaren.
Right, Latos used to be captain for Tivoli, right? And then Latos is also Teacher Hyde uncle.
Peter who?
Teacher Hyde, man. Lenny Hyde.
Okay. I got you.
And so we get to meet some of the man them Spider and all, some of the man that keep and all them to come on there. So in the business house now kind of expand your circle again in terms of ball if you're a player. So if you still a player kind of league now, you have a whole heap more man you can come invite to come play on your team.
Earlier on you mentioned about the cricket and all them thing and invited some cricketers. At one time I think when you tell me say Ken Rose would come start play cricketer, a wheeler the carry Ken Rose come. Ken Rose come and play cricket at Pembroke Hall before he play football?
No, Ken Rose actually was a play football before he started play cricket at Pembroke Hall.
Oh, really? Yeah?
Because him come play for our team. Him come with Gilligan. Remember Mikey? Him come with Gilligan, right?
Oh, him play for Elfurter. Ken Rose come play for
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Him come down there to Mumbert, which was Carlton Livingston. Was who invited him down because Carlton used to go to Valley.
Oh, I got you. So like me, just bring him over for come play phone now. I saw
Carlton Livingston, the musician.
Yeah, man.
Livingston.
Yeah, man. That same Carlton Livingston. Mumbert used to call him. So, yeah.
Him was a Pembroke Hall man, or him to go Calabar?
No, he was a Pembroke Hall man. He used to live up above Covey. So that was like Clydesdale.
Oh, I never.
No, Chesterfield. He used to live up Chesterfield.
Oh, I never know that. Last. I did not even know that at all. All right, let me ask you something. Because I have to ask you two on this, Because during the time of the 70s when I grew up, late 60s and I come of age, enough man become Rastafari in a Pembroke Hall. And Jamaica, not just Jamaica. How come I used to take that one here first, Mikey? how come you decide to never want to profess the faith of the Rastafari movement?
Not to live somewhere.
So I mean, then I say, father, they are foreign. Your father have so much power over you, them they are foreign.
Hold on, you think that stop him? What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? That's brethren. But then, you not such an after my father drop him. I never impressed with Rasta. Never impressed with Rasta, you know.
Yeah.
Now, brethren were Rasta. But we don't want on Rasta.
Yeah. I hear you.
You understand me?
Yeah.
It never connect with you, man.
So, yes, I know, but listen to this. This is just my take on the whole thing. Like Mikey said, we needed to live somewhere. All right, that was kind of part of it. But beyond that, I think part of it was okay. Rastafari and a black consciousness came in the 70s. All right. Rastafarian was part of that manifestation and that black consciousness.
Yeah.
But Rastafari they're on for a long time, but it really come uptown. So you had 12 tribe and you know the different things. And not for the man them, that was a new organization, a new way of conceptualizing our Rasta ago. But at the same time, you forget that even when Rasta was on the rise in a Pembroke Hall, so the so-called evangelistic tendencies, our members were also on the rise. Because I think within that time, you know, that was the time, if you think about it, that Boulevard, like Open Bible Church and all that kind of stuff was kind of, you know, becoming where they call it in America now, a big church. All right?
Them start to expand them wing now and I say them want them members big up. Yeah.
Right. So what happened to the guys on Covey Avenue, we were kind of caught in between the Ras and the Christians, because we never belong to no camp. And since we don't belong to no camp, we get hell and powder water from both camps.
Yeah.
Right, you know.
But last, the thing about it is that they had more pretty girl going to church one than Rasta.
The Rasta, but I tell you disagree with you, Mikey. So them not there.
Mikey, me don't know if you can't say that, you know, because you what up now. You never gonna Rasta gathering. So
it never got a chance, really.
No, I'm glad you correct me here, last, because I know I'm going to say in trouble. Because him never got to church. Because know what kind of
No. I went to St. Mary's Church.
No, but I say never go to church and the rest to know what kind of girl go there. So you know you comment and I say the girl them better look one way or the other. You never go to two churches and say, boy, which one look better? And
No, the first water I see him wash, you know.
Right. So you know, you understand the Mikey. I say, you know, continue.
No, I'm not following what I say.
So okay, so Mikey I tell you say, repeat what him say. The first water that Ag say, and that's why I wash.
Yes,
right?
but yeah. Oh, no, man, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Now look no further at all. I hear you, Mike. But you don't know what that water will have in the guy that said the first one you get, you're gone with. Yes, I hear you. I hear you, sir. I hear you. We don't have to go no further with that. I hear But may I ask you something last, because I mentioned black consciousness in at the time, and that's a significant thing. I don't have a glass over it in terms of say, what impact that had on Uno? Uno avoid the rest, but the black consciousness you couldn't avoid at all in terms of say.
No, but I don't think so. With listen, embracing black consciousness never necessarily does mean that you had to be Ras.
No, right.
Okay, and I think the black consciousness became of a certain awareness in terms of how you start to understand how the forces in a society work, what it mean, in other words, what it meant to be a youth from Pembroke Hall who could have got Calabar, all right, versus before. Because remember, one of the things that scholarship did was to give access to higher education for enough families who probably wouldn't achieve it if they might have to pay, because the money is nobody did it. All right? So I mean, I was kind of fortunate to go to Calabar at a particular time and to be surrounded by teachers like Mr. Sam Washington and them things there who were trained historians and them could have tell you things in terms of how we are try make ourselves better. So when him a talk about things like him, I said, no, I want to learn on a lesson or star and a play around. After a while, it start to make sense to you. Say, yo, forget to yasso or where you aspire to. You have to put in the work. And one of the things you have to remember about Jamaicans, at least at Calabar, I suppose it's the same thing at other schools. If you were only a scholar, people respect you. If you were only an athlete, people respect you. But if you were both an athlete and a scholar, you get a whole lot more mileage out of that kind of activity than anything else. So that was kind of part of what you was aspiring to do, because you were definitely there. You like me say, if you come home and your grade not too good, you get a bus ass. Okay? But at the same time, if you earn your bridge and them respect and them little thing there, you still want to make a team. Okay? So your bridge them will respect you, and them will strive at the same time. So all them kind of factors play a certain role in terms of who you turn out to be. So we kind of understand that, said number one. And even if you think about the formation of a club that cater to boys and girls, it was probably ahead of its time in terms of us. I understand that, hey, if we really make this thing work, we have to get the woman them involved in the process. It's not just a man thing, right? And that is part of the consciousness. It's not just a black consciousness, but it's a consciousness. Because then we start realizing that to become really valuable people in our society, we have to start thinking about how we are going to include women.
Yeah, the consciousness have to include both sexes. That was. It's almost like at the same time with him they start talk about last. Remember it was female. The word I'm using. I don't want misquoted. Female, not female.
Liberation.
Women's liberation was coming.
Women's liberation, right?
Yeah, women's liberation was the same time as the Black consciousness movement.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, so when you go back, if you go back in our history and you kind of look, probably some of the things we weren't aware of what was going on concurrently in terms of when you go through. But when being older give you a chance to kind of look back and you kind of see how things kind of work and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of, we don't want to say we're trying to fit what we did to say this is historic or whatever it is. But when you kind of look back, you kind of say to yourself, there was generally, there was some cross-pollination. Because, in terms of us dealing with women then, whenever we don't see them as some data that we look at like a piece from and them look at thing the star, we see them as genuinely friends that
as equal as part of the consciousness movement. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, people like Mikey was asked about church thing, but Mikey forget if Mikey forget say that even not in church, right? That even in the youth group that the minister them used to farm, them had women in leadership position.
It was a transitional time, last. All I can tell you is say, when you come of age and the most transitional time in a Jamaica, I think, in the same thing. The most transitional. No other. Yeah, go ahead, Mikey.
No, me, gentlemen, I say it's definitely the most transitional time in Jamaica.
Yeah, man. Now, Uno was a little older than we, and we come after the transition. It start and in process already last. But we are telling you, it's like Uno create the transition in a sense, or help to move it forward for the generation. Uno create it away. It's like you have to have a women's movement, Rastafari, and Black consciousness. Everything I mean to that one in the late 60s, early 70s, and it's like everybody have them afro, and it's like. I remember man used to plot up the mirror even time because they want to have the biggest afro when them go to school.
Absolutely.
And next week, you see 1 week I'm on in a soul, and the next week I'm on change and in my rasta. And say, them switch there. Yeah. But yeah. Let me ask you something though, because you remember when the metal post. Initially, the goal post on the ball field, the original ball field, the McCall, one of the center of the terminus. It was a board post. You remember when they tear into a metal post? Remember, I think a Chaplin.
No.
How that transition you're going to remember? So it moved from the board post. Where the car is that?
We have metal post?
Yes, man.
Yeah, we have metal post.
Yeah, man. Them put in metal post afterwards, but I mean, initially the post was wooden post.
Yes.
Some 4x4 lumber that made the goal post.
Yeah. Them painted black and white. I remember that too. Yeah.
Right. So that was there first. But I think the reason why the metal post came in was because it was after a while it became cheaper for actually get a metal post, a metal goal, because you'd buy it in a one piece which parted already well up and all that kind of stuff. And and then replace that, and then the wood. I don't know if wood use woolmanized lumber them time, but the wood used to rot after a while.
Yeah, Chaplin dent up the post, man, a metal post, eh? Yeah, go ahead. No, Mr. Chaplin dent up the post, a man talk about. Remember Spartacus? I lift up the post when they move it from. Remember Mikey and Lass? Remember Spartacus?
Yeah, man.
Remember Sparta.
Sparta is one of them person there. One of them characters, and I don't mean it in a derogatory.
Always present. Present.
Right, but Spartacus used to be almost at every football game. And if you remember, you remember the story about Popeye and Wimpy.
Remind me about that.
Okay, so this is what me remember about Spartacus when we start play. After we play and everything, we get to know Spartacus pretty well. But me if you remember in Popeye and Wimpy used to be like him way they call it now, support staff on the team, and when the football team them lick up together, him run outside with a bucket full of water, and then him drink the water and run back inside. That was Spartacus. If you get licking your balls in the ball, Spartacus jump up on the field and him start pump your legs and say, "You all right? You all right? You all right?" And you say, Spartacus, the ball was licking on my balls, lick me somewhere else. And he must say, "You all right? You all right? Okay, man, get up, man, get up." Not put your back 2 times and him go for the side, and then things are go.
Yes, Sparta.
But in terms of encouragement, Spartacus was legendary in terms of how him approach it. I always a very positive person.
Yeah, man. I think Sparta was responsible for the youth kind of league more than anybody else, in terms of organize it. Come around. I some remember him, I will leave to last. I some remember him, I will leave to Sparta. I'm not from writing, but remember I'm writing, but my name bring. But Phil, ask Plummie and Lass, not Plummie, Lass and Mikey, your pet question in terms of say, why is it Pembroke Hall had so much talent? You ask a question. Phil ask a question.
Well, I just say that is something we have to try to get everybody perspective on, because the amount of talent within the Pembroke Hall, it just hard to comprehend why we never even one time when Major League and put Pembroke Hall on the real map.
And you take the one.
I say the minor league, I don't know about that like the Major League.
You take the one the first, Mikey. Why do you think Pembroke Hall produced such talent? Where every road of a scrimmage team, and Pembroke Hall was the epicenter for football in the early 70s.
Remember how the whole Pembroke Hall scheme started, up and coming families? And because of that, you find you have a greater amount of young people that grow up inside us. Because them hotels could afford, and them 3-4 pitney, it spread it out. Because Pembroke was a fairly large community. And you had people who, because we have a football field, we play cricket, man, them want to play cricket and football, and come over and come play, and we welcome them. So I think that is what draw people together.
But I think the question Phil asked Mikey, and after you answer, Lass can take this. Why is it we never produce a success, even a community like Harborview did produce?
Okay, so let me take the question as well, because I know a man who live at Harborview and who was involved with Harborview building a football team to represent, to which part them had people like them end up, remember I said that Harborview, one of the first footballer the first club to get transfer fee in Jamaica was Harborview.
With Bibi.
with Bibi. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, like for example, Doc went on and played football overseas, but Doc never said to get recruited from Pembroke Hall for go play like Bibi did. But what it was more a vision, but more an awareness of what having a club in the community represent. So whereas we had different soccer teams, all right, in Pembroke Hall, we never really is towards the latter date we really had somebody who would have step up and says, we have a vision that we would like to have a quote unquote a football team represent Pembroke Hall, and the football team will come from different man from corner league. So you might have a man or two from Elfred, a man, 3 or 4 man from Patosia, and that kind of stuff. All right, but that was, we never really had somebody with that organizing talent and understand how soccer was to go. Look on Harborview and the Zady boys and the Bells. Okay, so just like our Pembroke Hall, the community came in, right? The same thing happened over Harborview, but I guess I don't know if being so far out of town forced them to kind of be a whole lot more organized than we were. Although technically we did all Palm Boulevard down on the bush.
Yeah.
All right, but it seemed as if in my mind we just never did have that person who had the faith of all the other people who understood and could have come and say, gentlemen, this is the vision that we like to get to the writers of this target, and this is a vision how we are trying to do it. And I'm sure if we had somebody along that thing, we probably that would have happened. All right, but
last, on second thought, right? Wasn't that pretty much what Mr. Hunt tried to do?
That is part of it. But remember, I said, in Mr. Hunt's case, what Mr. Hunt was doing was more trying to fulfill the vision of, SDC, right, in terms of building club like ours, right? And, him try and him would probably do something like that in a Pembroke Hall. But then again, as we move further into Pembroke Hall itself, like you said, so we have the Christian them and we have the Ras them and all that kind of stuff. We never really have nobody to kind of bridge that gap there that would have a certain amount of cachet with both of those people plus the rest of people them over there. All right, and so like we say, it is unfortunate to answer any question. Enough talent was there, but we just never really have that. I guess by the time somebody come along would do that, we start lose people to immigration.
I take your point, last. I'm going to raise it to a level where I'm going to say to this, to make your point. Because it's my personal view. Me think say leadership have a way for a team a win more than anything else. I'm going to go to the West Indies cricket team, the great team of the 1980s. Me I say, when Clive Lloyd come along and harness the man into a leadership thing, that West Indies team became successful.
Yes, but me have a little film that me I watch called Fire in a Babylon. You ever watch that yet?
No.
I will probably put up a copy on see if I can get a copy on Pembroke Hall Memories and you can watch it. And it talk about that. And you're correct in terms of Clive Lloyd. But I think what happened is when Clive Lloyd was captain towards the last years of his captaincy and him play Australia, I remember him say something like him say, listen, we got to Australia and we are play, and then we realize that the man them down there play cricket 24/7, and we were basically amateurs. So as a matter about him say, he remember when Tommy Thompson bowl a ball after Gibbs, and Gibbs said, "Wait, man, you mad? Me a family to take care of, understand?"
Yeah. Jeff Thompson,
yeah, right. So that was kind of it, and what made West Indian great during that time is the leadership, because number one, Clive Lloyd, when he became captain, when he gave the captaincy to Viv Richards, right, and he was now the manager for the team, him could have implemented vision.
Yeah. It was a
Right?
it's like what I'm called a transitional, a year apparent moment. Yes. Not to remember the music and management term. It's like
Right?
a
Yeah. So,
succession plan.
right.
Yeah.
And then no, the fact is that people forget, the first time when West Indies start playing at Kerry Packer cricket, down there, down in Australia, the man them used to laugh after we and say, how come it's like we take this thing off a joke? And Kerry said, listen, man, you have to understand, cricket is not a thing where you come play on a Sunday no more. You have to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you have to go gym, and you have to work out, and you have to get fit.
That's at the time
And
they
one,
apply the physio last.
ah,
Yeah. Kerry
precisely,
Packer was the best thing up to West Indies cricket.
right. And then once the man them realize, well, wait, we can put on some muscle, and we can get bigger, and we can get stronger. That means we can move faster for the ball.
Yeah.
West Indian cricket take off because then it's just like a track and field. It's like we get liberated and we realize what it takes to win.
Yeah.
Right. So now the man them I say, okay. So when we went to like England and talk about, we're gonna beat up them boy and send them back to West Indies and the man.
Tony Gregg said, man, West Indies some gravel.
And when the man them lick him in some bounce at the blows and stretch him off and take off on the field.
Yeah. The professionalism, man. But the leadership have a whole for doing it, man. So just to come back to the Pembroke Hall question, I think that live with them leadership. And sometimes you're blessed with good leaders, and sometimes your community just do have the leader or take it to a next level.
I mean,
go
on. No, you go ahead.
No, I mean, it even got to even on a country level, you compare Jamaica with a country like Barbados, and a one comparison I'm going to make, you look and say, the foreign exchange rate for Barbados compared to Jamaica, you say, Barbados have a different vision for them place. It's a smaller country, yes. But when you look at how Barbados hold them currency at a certain level, Jamaican politicians didn't have that discipline there at all.
Jamaican politicians still do have a discipline there, but
right.
So anyway, it's a difference. But I mean, you have to remember at one time, Barbados was the jewel of the Caribbean in the sense that they had the highest literacy rate in the Caribbean.
But I just want to mention at that time, Jelena realize it's like when you're old, talk about 2030 Jamaica first world. That's why it become a first world country when more than half of the population not educated.
Yeah,
so me I say?
Not Barbados.
Education is the only thing. Yeah, but the man them more intellectual there. Because it's only an educated society can be a progressive society,
Yeah.
Why you think so much darkness exists at Jamaica? All the people are not certain level of education, we allow them to think with intellect and understand so certain things is a must if we have a progress forward.
Yeah. May I ask you something as I talk about progress and all of it? And you first, Mikey, you think say, and we are talking about 50 years later now, you think say it's possible to create the vision where we missed? We dropped the ball. Like I said, we dropped the ball in the 70s, where there was no vision at all. You think it's possible to create a vision? I don't even want to revitalize Pembroke Hall, but to have a Pembroke Hall, to create a vision of Pembroke Hall can be better again. We put it that way there.
Sadly, I mean, the independence of the people of Pembroke Hall is so hard to get them for congeal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody kind of want to do their own thing. Individualism. If we were trying to put a corner league together in a Pembroke Hall today, it would be very difficult.
Well,
me don't think it would happen because people independent.
Well, you see, that's where. Well, you take that question a lot before me answer Mikey, because me think kind of different. Because this come back to the vision and the leadership we are talking about. You go ahead, lad.
Well, me I gotta say, me don't necessarily agree with Mikey still because I think people are always individual, but like anything else in terms of organization, it is what am I offering you to become part of this? What is it that you're going to be getting out of this? All right? But like you say, for us, for try and revitalize Pembroke Hall, it is possible. But the problem is we have to go get some people who are willing to put in 3 to 5 years to come up with a good plan and forget the plan they have to ground in terms of where you want to go. All right. So the question is, if you want to create, like me, your man talk about some of your presentation, a football thing, that is just one area. But like Jelly just said just now, I mean, ideally, if I was to put together a program like that right now, where I would have start with the youth and I said to them, say, well, listen, if you are come kick ball with us, we'll have one condition. You need to go to school and do well in your lesson. Because it don't make no sense that you kick ball and you're good in a high school, but you don't get no O levels or no A levels because you can't get no work outside when you get out there. All right?
If I'm a kick ball and that's a 90-degree angle, when I'm going to get a contract, you can't get no game. Because so the man I'm talk about it on the top level. I mean, if you understand degrees and the car.
So that is what
come back to what we say.
Yeah.
Everything you do, your intelligence is a must.
Yeah, man, you have to start out. So if you're going to start out, you have to say to the youth them, say, listen, when you come and join the club, part of what you have to do, in other words, you have to create something that say, okay, all right, you come pick ball at evening time. Well, we're going to meet over the hall, yeah, so, and we're going to have a study hall, and we're going to have it Monday, or we're going to have it Tuesday and Thursday, right? And you're supposed to come in Tuesday and Thursday, and you're going to spend 2 to 3 hours up at the study hall, and we're going to find some people to help you if you have a problem with your mathematics or you have a problem with your physics or whatever it is. So we basically try to get you to start things so that part of what you're supposed to do is not only excel on the football field, but you have excel in the classroom and hopefully excel with your neighbor them and all that kind of stuff, because that is what makes your leadership. It's not just what happened on the field, but it's how you deal with the people them after the game, how you deal with your neighbor them and all that kind of stuff. So it's a whole heap more involved, all right, than just, boom. And like I said, you say we might have had people that would have probably fit into those leadership roles, but I guess we probably never identified them early enough, and we never really have some sort of mentoring program or mentorship that we could have bring them along. And so if we really want to really make something work, I think the best place to start out, yes, sports is always a thing, yes, but education has to be a thing. Because if you were able to go work with, say, the primary school and the secondary school, let's say start off with the primary school, and you were able to make sure every year 90% of the kids who sit, what them call it now,
the current common entrance, don't ask for the
right, right.
Yeah.
If 90%, if you were achieving a pass rate in excess of, say, 75%, even 80%, or even, make a goal at 90%, right?
Yeah.
But if you're achieving 65, 70%, a whole heap of people are coming for that, because that means that is a ticket towards a college, a high school.
Yeah. Man, that's here I want to come at Pembroke Hall, come
okay.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of build some kind of program upon that, because like I said, it is not enough with us sports, because looking at Jamaica, once you get to high school sports, what is there? Know that we have, Premier League. But if you ask anyone who know about football and come Jamaica, they tell us a Premier League, the standard of football drop. Man might be more powerful, might be fast and all that kind of stuff, but the technical skill or the skill in terms of making decision under pressure or whatever it is, some of them things are absent.
Yeah. And that goes
all right. And those
go ahead.
And those are the things that will make you succeed in the long run. In other words, take for example a country like Spain. So Spain always produce some good baller, some good youth who have good technical skills. But how Spain do that? Spain put them best coach to teach the young youth them from 6 to 10 or 6 to 12. So here the philosophy behind that now. You see, if I teach you a skill and I teach you the skill properly, then that skill will continue forever. But if you learn a skill and you learn it the wrong way, then I have to reprogram your brain to get you to play it that particular way there. So think about in terms of control I mean, when we talk about technical skills, them little things that we talk about. So it's like I say, you have to kind of look upon it. So long term, the vision for revised Pembroke, I think, lies through education. We have to make the inroad in the school, and then you can build from there. So
Yeah.
that is just my thing.
No, man, I mean, I agree with that because when you put it that way there, it's like you talk about not just football alone. Cause it's everybody, all sexes, male and female. You see me, I said to you, it's not about say you're limited to just the girls, the boys, them alone. Everybody. It's a complete infrastructure thing you have put in place.
Right, and then you have to understand too, if you invest in them youth, yeah, and them do well, we don't know if 100% of them will come back and come, play it forward, as I'm going to say, right?
Yeah, no,
but,
right.
But at the same time, when you start build leadership succession, because you have these kids now who you groom in the philosophy that are gonna make the system work. So them are come inside and them understand, say, yo, when you do that, so enough for putting in your pocket, okay, enough for glory upon the road, but you look towards the next generation so you can help them overcome some of the things that you were not able to overcome.
What we are put in place, what we can put in place, I showed, is what it looked like West Indies cricket didn't do. Because West Indies cricket never looked like them have a succession plan at all last. Because
I mean, the example would be Jamaica and football.
Yeah.
98.
Yeah, after 98, yes, that even
we
better.
make World Cup, right?
That even closer to home, yes.
And what happened, right? It's the coach from Brazil was like, I have under 19 and under 17 side, and I said, okay, we need to start do a 15 and a 16 to make them come up. Okay, as soon as the coach gone, Papa,
the program dead.
The program dead. And then the next thing is this: now we have this idea so that we can ramp up a program in a couple months and go perform against a team that I played together for 4 years.
No, that are coming like a Corgoat match I play, and that can't work at all. Mikey, you understand what I mean by Corgoat? Like a Corgoat cricket you can play.
Oh, I understand quite well, brother.
Yeah, we've played some of those games.
No, different. Yes, we play some of them games that will last. If I go play upon the world stage, Corgoat cricket or football, not going to work at all. Anyway, lads, our Mikey, I'm not going to come on a program and talk about my brethren. As I mentioned earlier in the conversation, last younger brother was my classmate at Pembroke. And I feel, I don't know if you know this, I'm the brightest man that never go to school with, Right? So, Mikey, when you talk about Lancelot a little bit, because him there I know if you pick up in Pembroke memories, when you talk about Lancelot a little bit, before we close out the program tonight.
Lancelot?
Gary.
Which Lan-
You know him as Gary? Sorry. Get your Gary, you know him as one of Kobe, yes.
Gary was a little genius, man. And, I mean, I was surprised that you said Gary had play ball.
Yeah.
Gary used to play ball.
But he play ball from primary school. He was an excellent footballer, yes. Play at Coles for Calabar, to remember that, yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful, but you see, we separated a long time, but me and Plummie Lockhead boy and you were gone. It's one of these things,
Yeah.
But then, Plummie and I always had a closer relationship than Gear because Gear was a youth who couldn't hang with me. Well, couldn't hang with me.
Well, Gear a younger youth for now.
Me know, so Gary do him one thing, and he was excellent at it.
Yeah. All right, lads, start about the younger brother a little bit there. Come on, when are the jeans runner? I think a 39 Cove when he used to live. When are the water when appearing to the given us that Gary is so bright?
Well, I want to say, Gary is bright, but he was the only one that was an academic star in the house. All right, so that is kind of, a good thing. I guess we have to thank the mother and the father, say them give us some sort of gene pool for come from, for pick from and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think one of the things I remember having a conversation with Gary one time, and I'm not talk about stuff, and I talk about him just start play football. I think he must have played Colts and all that kind of stuff. And man, I talk and said to him, say, Pops, you have to remember, it's not only just building the muscle on your body, but you have to build the muscle between your ear. And me and him I laugh about that, right? Because when Master Team say, and there's so much I explain to you about this idea. For me, an ideal student at Calabar would have been one who plays sports and excel at it, and one who excel in the classroom.
Yeah.
So that was basically what I was a strive for. And I think that is what I was a strive for make my siblings them strive for. All right? So Gary would have been the epitome of that kind of goal. All right?
Yeah.
Did very well in the classroom. Gary's probably the best mathematician we know out there.
Yeah, man.
And did good.
I'm not take hard maths from fourth form and pass it.
Right, so by the time get to fifth form and pass 11 months already. So, mathematically, him see the whole thing.
Yeah, man.
But that might have been because Miss McLaren teaching up on the road. So, I don't know. It could have been a factor of that
she teach me to Plummie. I'm never so gifted. No worries. A little more than that was yeah.
That wasn't gift, brother, mama.
But no, him alone. Talk about your sister them book. I think you say no, Gary alone was brilliant academically. Talk about your sisters them too.
Well, I mean, yeah, my younger sister, she have a PhD in economics, and she did do very well too, and all that kind of stuff. Young, and the elder after two was doing very well. I mean, she waited for a couple of years to get into UA for medical school, and it's like the man them keep postponing it, and then she just decides that she'll just give up on that. So, I mean, we have aspirations, and I think we're kind of driven. And I mean, being the older one, my message all the time was, hey, the need for strive. All right. So that was my message, and I kind of I say I support them because I always there for them in terms of that respect and all that kind of stuff. All right. But that is kind of being the elder and what kind of role you were expected to play.
No, man, I'm glad I can't talk about Lancelot or Gary as I don't know him because I'm a virgin from, and I'm not there to tell him story, but some man are gone way too soon. So, we had a conversation about that. And they say, one thing I have to mention about Gary, is the humility of the man. As I said, despite the man brilliance, you'd have seen him and you'd know, say, the man gifted academically and could have played. You see me, I said to you, the humility of the man, last, I tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, not for this, for this that or anything, or but I think that's one of the things that the old man and the old lady was always trying to instill in a way that service is important to people out there. All right. So yeah, remember saying, even as a youth growing up, we still used to help other people for them work. All right, and we were encouraged to do that by our parents. In the sense that my mother said, hey, if you help somebody for understand something, if you understand it even more because you teach them how to do it. So if we've been doing that, and then my old lady and my woman had this big thing about service, you need to have service to your community.
Yes.
Because that is kind of how them grew up. So these are things that them kind of imparted to them picnic as we grew up. And if you never take a lesson, then you probably get some licks too. But but
I'm going to give an example. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Because Harville, and I don't know if Mike Harville, Dr. Harville Palmer, him tell me say Lancelot introduced him to SAT. Because when I go to high school, I don't know nothing about SAT. But because Harville run Lancelot, and you see me, I said to you, the SAT exam where they take a foreign field. You never know nothing about SAT exam. I will take SAT because Lancelot introduced him to SAT. So, yeah.
But that is kind of that's what I say. I mean, it's like again what we were talking about before, in terms of each one teach one, right? And in doing that, we become better as a group.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
I teach for a while in the university systems, okay? And one of the things interesting that I always find out is this. Certain communities of scholars, when them come university, them think together, all right? But when them share amongst themselves is things about the lesson, all right? And in other communities that you're there sometimes, man and man want to share the knowledge there. Every man, some man want to hold on for the knowledge.
Yes. It's a
All right?
Yes.
Okay? And what you get to realize, the more you share the knowledge amongst other people that have likeness like you in terms, I'm not talking about color and all that kind of stuff.
No, you're right. You're talking about knowledge. You're talking about knowledge, like,
right.
Yes.
Once the knowledge circulate amongst people, then you tend to find that group there that you have the knowledge that circulate tend to outperform any other group outside it.
Without a doubt. Me support that one. But it's a problem though, because not everybody do it like how you and Gary used to do it. I tell you, it's like man have the knowledge and him now pass it on. It's like him afraid for pass. It's like him thinks it's a competition. It's not a competition.
Selfishness.
Eh?
Yeah. Yeah,
Selfishness.
man, Henry may agree with it because it's like, when it comes down to that, it's just like how you like to see your brethren succeed on the sports field. More see my brethren succeed on the academic field too.
Of course. Even if I go outdo you, even if I come out better than you, exactly.
But hold on, come back to the same thing we talk about in terms of team, right? Listen to this. Enough team have a man who's a captain, but him is not necessarily the best player upon the team.
They'll go back to Clive Line. Right? Again.
Him is the man that probably every man gravitate towards because there's something about him that make every man want to follow him.
Yeah, leadership is a different thing than.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Phil.
That's people first, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Charisma.
Yeah.
Like Joshua.
No, well, that is true too. I mean, that was a certain amount of charisma that him have.
That is true. That is so true. But that's true.
No, but
that is true.
But strictly, you have to think about the personality of the person, The personality that extend him to that in other individuals out there that him can relate to them.
Listen, in any business, you need people like that in certain position. Your business move forward and be successful.
Yeah, man. The man that have the people skill and the touch and the command touch him can relate to anybody. And it's a skill by itself, though, You're right, It's a skill by itself.
Yeah, but it's natural.
Yeah. Anyway, let me ask you the last couple of questions because this the conversation is nice. And you first, Mikey. How it make you feel? I bring up back all them Pembroke Hall memories after all them years, after 56 years.
Well, it's wonderful, man. Wonderful to know that, we made a difference. We made a difference, because, mark you, and all of it could have come out of a house, really, And because of getting involved with the club that we had, we get involved with Pembroke Hall in general, and with our going to Calabar, we just groove with everybody and step forward. It was a great experience living in Pembroke Hall.
Yeah, that's special place. And you last, what make you feel I bring back all them Pembroke Hall memories after 50 years? 40 years to me, but 50 years to you.
Right, kid.
I'm going to spell the word OLD.
That is so true, lads. You think back when you're a teenager and you're Yo, you're
Mash up the man business.
No, officer, no more at all. Alright, let me ask you now, before we close out the thing, are you first, Mikey, is there any topic or anything where you think we could have bring up or we never bring up at all? The floor is yours. Anything where you want to talk about what we never bring up?
Well, look, Pembroke Hall was a special place and we have whole heap of fun memories. But I never, I know that you can't go back, so therefore, it's one of these things. You have to go forward. But I am glad that I lived in Pembroke Hall.
Yeah, I would second that. I definitely would second that. And you, last, any question, anything you want to bring up? Go ahead.
No, I think... Go ahead, Eddie.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Phil.
No, we just have to trade that for the world, none of it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't know. Technically, here I am, and here I'm not agree with it. No. It's like a counterfactual. We can't disprove it, and we can't prove it, right? So we don't know if we did grow up in another community, if we would get to where we are, right?
Yeah.
But when we look back when on the experiences that we had in Permacal and the friendships and all that kind of stuff that we made and still have and all that kind of stuff, it helped us to grow and become who we are today. All right. So it's like Phil just said, we couldn't change it for the world. I mean, think about what Permacal was when we get there, and as we get older, what we see. I would tend to agree with him 100%. I would have never changed it for the world. I wouldn't want to live in a UN or anywhere else. Permacal was it for me, and it has always remained. So, for whatever reason, I mean, it might be the combination of factors. It could be the fact that, for our Lance or Gary, the fact that it Miss McLaren School, then it go Permacal Primary, then it go Calabar, and you understand. Probably if it had gone to George's or another school, it might have make a difference. But at the same time, when we look and we say, we still have people around us who were positive role models who help us along the school of life, understand what we can achieve and all that kind of stuff.
And inspire us as well.
So,
what I feel?
But say, and inspire us as well.
Yeah. So that is part of it. So I mean, like we say, like you said, we can't really say anything but, at least from my perspective, I can't say nothing but good about Permacal. I mean, in other words, we have enough experience in a Permacal, but I think when you look on it and put them on good experience and bad experience, man, I have so much on the good side that the bad side look like a little small.
That's true. Man, you were talking things says all good at Pembroke. We said no, it's just a good old way the bad. We didn't remember the bad. Yeah.
Oh, we can tell you about some. We'll leave a little incident. So one night we go on party, all the man in Pembroke, from Covey Avenue, right? So me, Mikey, Aggie, Billy. I think Christy there with the night, Mikey. And when we come down pan Albert right there, so we see Alec Morris minor, Alec Morris, Aston Cambridge come out, and the license plate was KS32.
Oh, Ross.
No,
you look like you remember that.
That trigger Mikey brain.
Right away.
Wonder why.
Yeah, we're going to tell you.
So KS32 is a wide Morris Oxford. And a man in this car come out and look upon me and say, so where are you guys coming from? And him say, at this time of the night, it's only two people on the road, police and thief. And I am the police. So what does that make you boys? And we say, and I say, and we both out and say, we're going home. And him say, well, I am going to circle around here, which is under the triangle field down by your book.
Yeah, right.
Right, and when I come back and look, and if I see anyone on the street, you go with me over to the jail. I say, by the time my brethren drive about 20 yards, listen, man, you only hear some footstep or recede in the distance because every man reached them yard. Okay. KS32 was a certain superintendent.
Former Marvally.
Used to patrol. Joe Williams.
Yep, Joe Williams.
A little white car.
Yeah, man, a white Morris Oxford, right? Used to patrol from the car all the time.
One of the original bad cop from first early days, yeah.
Really, you know, sir, well, yes, well, that's what I talk about. That just shows you the big contrast between now and then. Because a police couldn't roll up on a youth right now, a set of youth right now like that.
That is true. That's really different.
Nah, man, body pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I tell you, man. Every man, like I said, Chris the Devil with night, and every man make a quick run star, and before you know it, and that is when we know so that we can win track and field meet.
Yes, you could have a relay team. Could have two relay team tonight, lads. Yeah.
Realize them track potential.
Yeah. And Phil, you have anything where you think we could have asked Lascelle or Mikey what we never bring up?
Right, man, I can't really think of nothing.
Yeah. Well, me have something I want to bring up then, because earlier in the discussion, Lascelle mentioned Moccasin Stout with about Mikey, and unless Mikey want to leave that behind the paid wall. Is there a story behind the Moccasin Stout?
Go on, let me hear it now.
No, me I ask you, well, last mention it. Me don't know nothing about it.
You don't know Marcus Stout.
You know Marcus is so, but it's so like this. Last, is there a story behind the Marcus Stout and Mikey? I have to stay behind the paid wall.
It never stay behind the paid wall, man.
Wow, we could leave it behind the paid wall, yeah, Phil. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you have to put this thing.
I'm not trying to mention anything.
No.
You'd have to go put this thing up on pause so we could tell you
Talk
what
about it. And behind the paid wall. Behind the paid wall. Okay. I know some of them conversations that maybe one of them to it. Anyway, gentlemen, before we close out the program, any closing remark? And you go first, last. Any closing remarks?
No, actually, I mean, thank you for the opportunity for, reminisce and look back on Pembroke Hall. Probably sometimes even when we never have this conversation and preparing for this conversation, I tried and look back on certain things in terms of probably a more objective eye on it. And like I said to you earlier on, in what we were talking about, I think for me, what was important was the fact that Pembroke Hall leave me and my siblings with a sense of service, all right, and a sense of caring about other people, because people that live on our road did care about we. Mm-hmm. And so it was easy for us to kind of reciprocate that still, And part of that also was in terms of us earning people's respect and trust, basically because we gave back to the community. Just the simple thing like cleaning up the road on National Heroes Day. Mm-hmm. And that really make a big impression, not only to us who were participating in that process, but the neighbor them who live on the road. Yeah. Because like I said, after we do that, the people them, we get a different feel. We weren't just only some brother who are play on the road. All right? Them could identify and say, them kids there are our kids in my play on the road. A
community start develop after that last. That's exactly what happened. A sense of community where everybody knew everybody. It was special, man. We had to have a special thing with that night.
Right, but I think more than anything is that you some strife with the elders.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. If you think about it, anytime you can get any brownie points or bonus points from the elders, you're in a good state, seriously, right? Because that means them respect you, but that means whatever you have trying to do, them will contribute to make it succeed.
Yeah, man.
And I think that is what happened on our road. Like I said, I mean, think about Mr. Max, Mr. Shim, all right? Mr. Shim lend him land more so we can go cut every man land.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay? And he never really have to do that.
No, but you put that context in the last. You say, man, you borrow the lawnmower because nobody else could afford a lawnmower.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, could I say no?
Yeah, but
right?
Yeah.
But and so when we look upon that and we get to realize, I'm sure so probably then he might have said something like, well, if them brother never associated to them youth, look what happened to Chris in terms of him potential get unfolded and we see him as a goalkeeper. Because Chris could have come out to my yard and him could have come hang out with me.
You're not just a goalkeeper, lass. The best goalkeeper ever come out of Pembroke Hall. We could declare it right away.
Okay, so
yeah.
So that is what happened. So them look at things there. So like I said, you say, like when you look upon things, sometimes we can't see in the future, but we know say if there's certain foundation that is laid, then probably we can be a little bit more assured and a little bit more confident in terms of the future that will occur.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. The conversation you go well forward. If you think about how we can create a vision back for where it was. Not where it was. I'll create a different vision for Pembroke Hall. It's possible. I like how you put it that way there. Once the foundation there, we can understand things. So, Mikey, any closing remark from you? I'm dead, eh?
Mike's?
Oh, I'm gone. I'm drop off. Mikey. Phil, Mikey, I'm gone.
It's all right. Well, make with us, Ron.
Yeah,
make with
Phil,
us.
any closing remark from you, Mikey? Yeah.
Well, as usual, is another well-spent moment with the memories of Pembroke Hall, featuring Lascelle and Mikey this trip around. And I'm glad for doing it, believe you me, because with each person, we get to learn something new. And I can't go wrong with that. But I just got to what we always say, which is why Pembroke Hall is so special.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd like to thank them for coming through tonight.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to close out this program. So, Mikey Wynter, Lascelle Adams, and Philip N.A., and in the words of the great Baba Fire, on behalf of me, Lance Prince, God bless you all. And Baba Fire, that's it. On the ball, Pembroke Hall. That's the way I just close the program now. On the ball, Pembroke Hall. And God bless the whole away. And God bless that great community of Pembroke Hall to bring us together. So thank you, Lass. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Phil.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Bless.
Good.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to Pembroke Hall Memories podcast. And remember to give us all the support you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. A special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week. And without him, I would not be able to do what I love doing every week, having memorable conversation about Pembroke Hall. Thanks.